Jim's gonna shut him down. It's a double kill for Jim.
Oh my God, Jim!
Looking pretty good. It's gonna be a triple kill. Jim comes on fire. Jim comes on fire.
He had the right angle, but couldn't land the shot. The dart goes to 2-piece! He's gonna be able to take out. Oh my God! Oh no! He was down to 1 second on the clock.
Na cara do Master, o Ayum vai tentando fazer o primeiro. Da estátua vai tentar o tiro porrada e bomba! Vem! Clutch muito difícil de vencer, mas...
Square on the body that you hit. He no-scope for Apollo right there. He no-scope. Good evening, EU. We are back. That's right. The grand finals. We're live. I'm Verdict. That's Imperium. Looking dapper and lovely as ever. How are you doing tonight, my guy?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. I'm feeling good. Well, actually, I have a bit of a sore neck. But other than that, I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to these games. It all comes down to this, baby. Grand freaking finals. Let's go.
I'm pumped, baby. I know you are. Looking good.
Hell yeah.
Sounding good. Everything's on point. We've got a grand final stage set, man. We've got a bronze matchup in the lobby. This is the first time we've had that in a while. We've got a sweaty finale to come through. And, man, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. All that blood, sweat, and tears throughout the regular season. It's all out the window. Right now, everything is on the line for these two teams that are in the final situation. Also in the third place matchup situation, too. So, Imperium, what are your thoughts, man? We've got 2 matches tonight. One's going to be a best of 5. One's going to be a best of 7. Obviously, we're going to start with that best of 5. It's going to be Stamina and Asylium, the match that should have been last season but wasn't.
I tell you what, it's a hell of a third, fourth place game. I tell you, like these are two teams. Stamina individually themselves over the last 3 to 4 months, right, have massively stepped up to the plate. We talked about it time and time again. They are a final worthy team, and then Asylium have come into the season and surprised a lot of us in some really good ways and stepped up as well themselves individually and as a team. So as much as this is for like third place, it really kind of feels final worthy. That isn't to kind of take anything away from the two teams that we're gonna have in the finals. No, but I'm just trying to at least, considering in past seasons where not only the teams, but to an extent maybe the viewers have looked at the third and fourth place match as a bit of a meh, whatever. I honestly feel really goddamn good about this third, fourth place match. I think it's going to be a hell of a series.
That is right, guys. Just as we were mentioning the third/fourth place matchup, the bronze matchup, whatever you guys want to call it, that's going to be the first one when we start things off. Stamina versus Asylium. And then we're going to cap the night off. The moment that we've all been waiting for, a rematch from last season, Nova Esports and Navi. Obviously, we were talking about before the broadcast how I wasn't able to cast last season. My internet was literally crap in the bed. Well, guess what? I'm not missing this season. I'm not missing any more moving forward. So Nova Esports and Navi in that finals situation, it's going to be a damn good one. And as a matter of fact, I think we've got other things to announce too. I know we've got, we got award nominees to go through as well. Holy smoly. I guess we can start with the Sniper Award.
Are we going over the nominees? Because I'm not quite sure. Is this something where we are announcing a winner now, or are we just giving the nominees so that people can go out there and vote? Because I'm not gonna lie, not sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the winners. Yeah, Ronan's letting us know he hasn't sold yet today.
Ronan didn't let us know the information.
He dropped the ball. Typical, right?
Typical. I know, right? Typical. It's like, now I know why my neck is sore, from Rona.
Yeah.
Clearly Rona's fault.
Yeah, dude. We got big old duffel bags, bro, carrying all day long.
But yeah, look, we're gonna announce the award nominees for Sniper, Rookie, and MVP. The winners are based on the players voting. So it's the players that basically vote and decide the winners of these awards. So it's nothing like community based. It's all based on the pros of this event, as far as I know, based on what I'm reading from Ronan's standpoint at least.
Absolutely. I'm taking a look at it based on the players voting. That is going to be the case for the MVP, but for the award nominees, we're going to get the poll out there so you guys can, vote on your best nominees. As a matter of fact, we'll roll through the Sniper. We'll make it quick because I know you guys want to jump straight into the action. I'm ready just as much as you are. For Sniper role, we've got Neil from Nova, Denicio from Meeseeks, Panda from Clash, Capo from Gallant, Marvel from, whoa. Not so fast, my friend.
Ronan threw straight away by saying Marvel from Anarchy. It's not Anarchy. It's Navi, okay.
And he's at Asylium now, so come on.
Jesus,
man. So Marvel from who the hell knows? Narcs from Stamina. Marvel from both Anarchy. I guess he was a part of that squad for a little while before that Asylium revamp came through. So yeah, definitely some exciting sniper picks.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look, I know who I'd pick if I had my choice. Out of all that list, I would pick personally Narcs.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
That's who I would pick. I know Neil has always been known as that kind of sniper player, but I think he's really developed overall as a well-rounded player enough to not have the massive title of a kind of sniper of the season kind of thing. It's not that he's a bad sniper, but to me, someone like Narcs just stands out a little bit more as a sniper player.
I want to agree with you as much as I can, but I also can't deny the fact that Marvel has just run rampant, regardless of what team he's on. Marvel, when he was with Anarchy, was OP. You see Viri switch over to that sniper role after. That was a big, set of shoes to fill for him. He's done pretty decently after that transition, but it was such a big hole to fill when you force one of your ARs to, take that role in a S&E scenario. He moves on to Asylium and he continues on with that same energy. So I think he's been more consistent. And I'd even throw Denicio up there in the mix because bro has put up some, multiple game 10 plus kills in Search or Destroy with a sniper alone. So we'll move on from that topic. We've got, our selections. Obviously, you guys are going to have yours as well. So looking forward to getting those those polls out. Rookie of the split, which should be an interesting one. There was only 2 in that category. That's General Gore from Meeseeks and Moro from Illuminati EU. So we'll go ahead and get that out there, and then we'll go over the MVP. Obviously, these were player voted, right?
No, I don't know where the picks came from, but I think the winners are based on players voting. I don't know as far as like lists of players, but it's based on team picks, I believe. So,
okay,
yeah.
so the MVP was picked by the team. The captain submitted it.
Each team, each team chose a player. Okay, cool.
Gotcha. All right, and that's Creed from Navi, Greek from Aphelion, Fades from Asylium, Raid from Gallant. He was absolutely OP this season. Denicio from Meeseeks, Saturn's from Nova, absolutely OP. These are some pretty decent names on the list. Ajax from Illuminati, Patron from Clash, Shift from Stamina, who we're going to see here shortly, and then Tutu from Bunker. I don't know if we got enough to, to see him from the season to see how that pans out, but if I'm not mistaken, these are all voted by the pro players too, right? This particular portion, the MVP.
Yeah. They're all voted, so every player chooses has the option to vote, so to speak. So look, good luck to all the players, at least when it comes to the votes. I have a couple of personal players that I've observed. I know I haven't commentated all of the season. I've been a little bit more sporadic than I'd like to have been. But
you're here now. That's all that matters, bro.
Yeah. So there's a couple of players that stand out in my eyes. I know it's a little bit super obvious to pick a player from each of the team that's in the finals, because as a team that makes sense, but we also need to remember like players like Shift from Stamina, even Denicio, who you highlight as a sniper. I think he's been absolutely standout for Meeseek. So yeah, I'm not surprised that those players are on the list as well.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get over the awards and everything at the end of the stream, so we're going to give you guys plenty of time to vote. Now, it's the time for truth. Who's going to prevail? This bronze matchup's up next. We've got the players in the lobby.
Yes.
We've got the picks in as well.
We do. We're going to have the maps of Hardpoint Takeoff for game number 1, Search and Destroy Hackney Yard. It's been a while since I've commentated Hackney Yard, so I'm looking forward to that. Domination Raid. If we get to a game 4, it's going to be Hardpoint Standoff. And if we get to a golden game 5, it's going to be Search and Destroy Firing Range.
There we go. And the map veto is going to come through for Stamina Summit. For them, Asylium is going to ban the Crossfire map. Interesting there. And all to the norm that we've seen since that update of the Kinetic Armor and the TAC 5 being banned in Stage 5. Of course, the Annihilator and the Sparrow are going to be banned and out of play too. So diving into this series, this is, like I mentioned, this is one that we were supposed to see last season as well, but obviously we had the dilemma with the free stamina situation going on. Obviously, they opted not to play. I'm so glad that they were able to, pick up and play today, because now we get everything that I, could have missed last season right now. Granted, the beef isn't as, I guess you would say it's not as tender as it was then, right?
No, it's not. Look, like I really believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really feel like this has been, it's cliche to say, the best Mobile Mayhem season so far.
Yes.
I really believe it's been the least crazy, it's been the least hectic, it's been the most consistent, and even then from a kind of top end, I really feel like it's been the most competitive season across the board. At the end of the day, third place matchup, the finals matchup, all 4 teams are in Stage 5 of COD Mobile Champs, right? And in this one specifically, these are 2 giants clashing up against each other, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, we got a Stage 5 preview on our hand. As a matter of fact, we're jumping right into map number 1. That's going to be that takeoff hardpoint. It's a tough P1 out in the open. Got literally all angles to cover, and it's just going to be tough. And I'm seeing the P90 in the use. Hands of Jazz. Or not Jazz. Who was that I was spectating just a second ago? I couldn't even tell who it was. It swapped so fast. Nonetheless, these players trying to figure out what the meta is before this Stage 5 approaches. definitely get an opportunity to display the gun skill here in this first game.
Again, kind of a good few P19s being utilized, a few Holgers as well. Those guns are definitely more heavily in the meta, or continue to be in the meta, especially a map like this, right? That is one of the larger maps of COD Mobile, so those kind of mid to long range weapons are going to be more heavily encouraged and utilized across the board. So far in the first 50 seconds, it is a 16-9 lead coming through at the hands of Asylium, but don't disregard what Stamina can do.
No, not at all. This P1's out in the open. You know, the fact that Asylium were able to rack up those points uncontested on P1, kudos for them. And now you got a battle here in the trenches on P2. This staircase is about to be a bloodbath. As a matter of fact, Shift's already picked up 3. He's the one with the P90 in his hand. It was recently added to the COD Mobile artillery, I guess. Artillery, I want to say this past week. So interesting to see how it's made its way into the mix. You can see it's not as mobile as I wanted it to be honest. But oh my God, that R9 from Grizz, clearing staircase and the top of the window, just an absolute crucial point needed here for the guys over at Stamina. They get a majority of the bunk there, and it does look like we're going to see their rotations over to P3.
Great play by the side of Stamina in this P2 with the last 20 seconds to go. They have a 12-point lead. Grizz popping up, grabbing a good few kills with that gun. With the P90, I don't know what to make of it. I don't think it's suitable for this map, being perfectly honest. I don't think it has the right balance to kind of fire rate and damage that is more beneficial than the likes of a Holger and a P19 overall, or even the likes of the shotgun that's being utilized by Grizz R9 Hopper. So yeah, it can work, just not in this map in my opinion right now.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're looking at the Holgers being spammed. You're looking at some of those long range metas. This is a huge map. You mentioned it earlier. And of course, you get into the points, and I guess those were the your short range SMGs, your shotguns are really going to thrive at, as we're in this P3 bunker site, or the bottom of this building rather, coming through. Oh my God, Grizz able to utilize on some score streaks usage, the Predator missile. This is where he's really going to live up to his expectation, because he's got that R9, he's got close quarter combats, misses one there on balance, but guy's been on point so far.
I think great P that's been coming out of Hardpoint, coming out from the Asylium guys, has definitely been crawled back by Stamina, but this is a damn close first game in this series. 59 to 75 seconds to go. Looking for that next Hardpoint transition. It definitely seems to be more easily and heavily set up by the Stamina boys. Grizz gets a kill on the fade. Another one on the Marvel. They're walking into it one by one.
They are one by one. They fall just like dominoes, man. One comes in, they all fall, man. You see the penetration here on the backside. Shift actually going to be holding the point there. He's got the R9 in handy. Is going to be able to lay prone and find one, but Marvel able to pick up the refrag there. But the cluster strike halted all of the push up.
Oh, Faints.
But Faints. I'm going to go ahead and say Faints has not been impressive this series so far, but that Death Machine definitely put his numbers up there.
Interesting Goliath use time-wise. 7 seconds left to go. I don't think it's the most useful point to use it in this map in my eyes, so maybe possibly a little bit of a waste. They are fighting and contesting for it, but is it really worth it? For the last 13 seconds it goes down. Yeah, poor timing in my eyes.
No, yeah, definitely poor timing. As a matter of fact, I would have rather seen it come out in that P2 area where you could get a little bit of a, more bang for your buck, but obviously Stamina able to take it down early there, that P4 rotation. Maybe not. Maybe they were just trying to buy a little bit of time on that P4 hill. It was a little devastating for him. Take a look at the score. It's about a 30-point game now, or 20-point game, rather. 22 to be exact, but P1 reset coming through. Jazz going to be able to utilize some OBJ time. And Asylium are right back in it.
They're in it for sure. P1 is definitely a little bit scrappy. I don't think Stamina will be too worried about losing it, being perfectly honest. They should be tracking the operator usage from the side of Asylium. That hopefully should then allow them to lead a little bit more heavily into P2, despite them kind of, losing a little bit of that P1. It's still close, but 110, it's in the hands of Stamina.
It is in the hands of Stamina right now. They get their foot on P1. They're about to take this Goliath out for Balance, who is literally one shot. Grizz gonna come through and do the duty there.
You-
That's two in a row, my guy. You can't have 2 balls dropped like that in the same game. It just poor timing, poor judgment. You know, it is what it is. They're obviously on the brink of losing this game. You look at it right now. It's a lot closer to victory for Stamina than it ever has been. Only 18 seconds needed to be, and I'm already looking at it. Look, they got a good hole in the staircase. You know, I gotta say, those 2 Goliaths would have came in handy right here.
A little bit more reactive rather than proactive from the Asylium boys, and it's what's leading them down a dodgy, dark path. Of course, that's some nice Death Machine usage being pulled out by Marvel. He's going to get flashbanged and killed out of there, followed by Shark. Stamina 139 and counting, 140. Full control for them. They hold on to all angles of that staircase, and yes, it is being contested, but I can't see Stamina losing this one.
No, they're definitely not. They only need 5 seconds on the point. As a matter of fact, if they don't get it here, they're obviously going to get it on that P3 rotation. But lo and behold, they clear the hill. Shark doing a little bit of perimeter control here. It's not going to be enough. That's going to be a 150 to 100 win for the guys over at Stamina. They did such a great job on those transitions from P4 to P1 to P2 to close things out. Just an overall well-balanced game for Stamina. And on the flip side of things, you got to be scratching your head. Where did things go wrong? Imperium, I think we already know it. For Asylium, it was it was those 2 Goliath uses. Very interesting, very unique, right? But how long did they last, and what overall contribution did they make to
exactly,
you know, to the game?
Exactly, because I think as a team, their overall positioning and their rotations as a team were very solid. It was genuinely just that operator usage to wrong time, wrong place, wrong hard points. That's where it just allowed Stamina to remain in control. Whether the comms, whether there was a little bit of panic, a little bit of uncertainty of around how they felt they could come back into it, I don't know exactly. They'll know more than me, but that's the only thing that stopped them, because Asylium, they were very solid in that game. Very solid. You look at Shark, 26-16, 36 seconds, 18-14 for Marvel, 18-15 for Balance. They were positive on KDs, but the operators is a big part, especially in a map like Takeoff that's quite large. The operators can be such a big difference maker on you controlling the hard point for that extended amount of time.
Yeah, you're looking at the scorecard. There's not much difference in both teams in regards to who outfragged who. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at it from bird's eye view, or from my perspective. It looks like Asylium actually might have, you know, outplayed them in the KD department, but that does not translate to objective. You know, there's a big gap here in objective time versus KD. As a matter of fact, you look at Drari, he drops a minute and 12. Nobody on the flip side of things even remotely close to that. And then you got Shift, who's right there with him on minute and 4. I mean, this is an overall better team outcome for Stamina. All cylinders on this game 1. They come out the gates hot, and you know, now we're going to be looking at a Hackney Yard search and destroy to follow things up. I am kind of fearful for Asylium going into the second match.
No, I'm not, man. I'm not at all. Really, I'm not at all, because I think, you know, with Search and Destroy, it's very much about that teamwork, and I think that teamwork was there for how they played, and I think the positioning was pretty much spot on in that game for the team. So I'm not worried about Asylium at all. I really have absolutely no doubt that they have the ability to come back into it in the second map of this series. One point that you brought up during the game, which I think is underlying a little bit, just a tiny bit, but I don't think it'll play a massive part, was Faint's poor start to that game.
True.
Not trying to like massively single him out, but I think him having a slower start didn't overall help the team. Overall help the team. But other than that, coming into Search and Destroy, I say it's going to be a Asylium game, and we're going to have 1-1.
Oh yeah, if it's going to go in the favor of Asylium, you're going to have to let Shark do his thing. And then on the backside of that, you got to have Marvel and Faints on point. They got to be on point for the beginning, because this Stamina team will pick you apart in the trenches when it comes to Search and Destroy. Doesn't matter the map, doesn't matter the scenario, doesn't matter if they're up or down. They just seem to be the better Search and Destroy team in this series, in this matchup alone. Even you put any of the other top tier teams in this situation, and I would choose Stamina 99% of the time. You know, Grizz gonna come through with the shoddy. Of course you're gonna have Narcs, your MVP or sniper selection from this roster. You know, all in all, they have been more consistent. And I'm not saying they're the better team because they're the best Search or Destroy team. I'm saying it because they're the more consistent team in a Search or Destroy format. So we're going to give them an opportunity. We're going to go ahead and dive into the second game. Search or Destroy on Hackney Yard. Asylium need to come, they need to come strong. They need to come correct off the bat. Feints, Marvel, you got to start things off strong.
Yeah, on a side note, player is sorry, not player. Slayer is subbing in for Inferno, as Inferno wasn't on, which is a bit of a shame because Inferno can be a big difference maker for their side. I
didn't even consider that. That is a fair point.
Something that, and credit to Ronan for pointing that one out in terms of at least in Slayer coming in. So hopefully maybe Inferno comes in for a couple of games in the series, as I think. Inferno can be a big part of Asylium winning, but we'll have to wait and see.
The ball push up towards this A site is going to resort, and Grizz finding 3 off the bat. Doing what he did the exact same way last game. He's just coming in, you know, no bars out. He's not holding anything back. Bro is just popping off. And now we're going to see Feints in a 1v3. I asked Feints to step up his game, and this is his opportunity to clutch it up for the boys, but the bomb is down, and there's only a minute and a half left for Feints to make a move. I've seen some pretty decent clutches on this map in 1v3, 1v4 scenarios, but Feints with a sniper in his hand is going to have to be very elusive.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Feints last one standing, 1v3. Doesn't even have the bomb in his hand, so that's going to take pretty much all the control of this game out of his hands in the open. All he can do is try and backtrack, and gotta say, good backtracking coming out from Feints. He needs to get into a position where he's able to utilize that sniper the right way, but Narcs, he's gonna find him.
He is indeed. It was only a matter of time. We saw Slayer get the shots on him. Feints almost being able to escape there. He was literally one shot going into that bottom green area, but obviously you can only play your life for so long before you're ousted and, you know, pinned down by your opponent's Stamina. Have a strong start. The A push comes through, was bold, but very well predicted. Jazz going to find the opening blood here in this round. And a much better start here for Asylium as they make their way towards this side. As a matter of fact, Bounce going to pick one off as well.
Bounce is going to get taken out by Narcs, though. Feints is going to be hanging around back. Shark is going to plant that bomb on the A side. It's a good call. You have that body advantage. Make it work. Make the side of Stamina sweat a little bit as the time is going to be ticking down. I do like the position of Slayer, even though he's a little bit on his own. He's the last one standing as Marvel gets a double kill.
Marvel just too crisp with it. As a matter of fact, picks up the last 3. Cleans that round up. Just a phenomenal job there. You saw his positioning. He's on the back tire shop area. Just has a broad, clear view of players going into that A site. And sure enough, he found 2, and the third was right in front of him. So Asylium able to bounce back. That is absolutely clutch, but they're going to need to do a few more here as we see this next round come through. I do see the hit marker coming through from Marvel. Kind of overextends there. Almost plays, you know, falls victim to multiples. Drari actually going to be able to get first blood. Balance goes down, and we got an interesting one.
I don't know what exactly Bounce is doing, but it's just one of those things that can happen. The bomb has gone down. Okay, it's been good because there's a bit of a trade, but a very premature bomb plant in my eyes, and it's really put a lot of pressure as Marvel's last one standing.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do. As a matter of fact, you get that tunnel vision. You got 1v1 scenario right there. Bomb goes down. You're nowhere in sight. Obviously, he gets caught up in the transition, and you know, as a matter of fact, Drari did a great job of just playing his life right there. All you had to do is just waste your opponent's time. He did it perfectly. As we see a 2-1 lead, this is what I'm talking about. More consistent gameplay here on the Search and Destroy for Stamina. Not saying that their Hardpoint game wasn't strong. We saw it. It was a 150-100 game. Now they're looking at making this a 2-0, but Slayer absolutely popping off right now. Finds one in Marvel. Trades come through. The bomb is being pushed up. Balance, are you going to make the same mistake we saw last round? Feints finds one in the background. 2 for 2 trades, though. Make that 2 for 3 now as Shark drops. Good God, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, like, good trades from the side of Asylium, but let's be perfectly honest. It's extremely predictable. Like, extremely predictable. It's why Stamina are being a little bit more aggressive. Are they low-key paying the price by being a little bit more aggressive by losing more players? Yeah, but you can clearly tell they're being more aggressive because Asylium are just so obvious with how they're positioning, how they're setting them up for any kind of bomb plant. So they need to mix things up.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. And as much as I want to see them mix it up, I don't think they are. And I'll tell you why. Stage 5 is right around the corner, and this is one of those toss-up maps that if it gets thrown into the mix and you have to play strategy, you don't want to, spill the beans early. This is a scenario where I've seen, teams like, not 11, but Zygnus dedicate themselves to an A-side push and stick to it the entire game. Why? Because there's no creativity in that. There's no strategies being spilled there. If you go for an A-side push, it's just a 5v5 team deathmatch at that point. So you're not giving away anything too much early on. As a matter of fact, you reserve that strat for Stage 5, and I think it's the right move. Again, 5 rounds in a row, Stage 5 right around the corner. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Like, look at 2 players down already from the side of Asylium. If you leave the door open, you're gonna get punished. Balance gets taken out. Narcs can do nothing about it. Marvel is gonna be left on his own, and this is just easy peasy lemon squeezy for Stamina.
It is. Now we're gonna have to flip sides after this and see if Stamina is going to be a little more creative. Obviously, with Stage 5 right around the corner, I'll continue to stress this point because I've seen it all too often in these teams that are qualified. They're not going to give out, their creative pushes, the strategies that they're working amongst each other when no one else is looking. So, as again, you see the push towards A, is that not something that confirmed that theory?
Yeah. True to an extent, For now, at least for the time being, Stamina Grizz gonna get a double kill. This guy needs to be absolutely shut down. He's even used a shorty. He's using a shorty. He doesn't care if it's nerfed. He doesn't care at all. It's Grizz. He's a different man. He's built different.
Oh, Grizz is absolutely cracked that R9 in hand. I would love to see, something like that be banned in Stage 5. I know we were talking about pre-stream, the SKS being banned, because one player seems to, know how to utilize it perfectly. That's, your guy's space, but, that R9 is just absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. It's one of those guns that you got to have the timing down and right. Grizz, the master of shotguns, of course, he's going to be able to master it with a little bit of ease. Push back towards this A side's going to come through. Marvel's going to be on the top side of 10. Grizz going to offer that bomb plant, feints on the opposite side. Marvel with the pick.
By the way, that was based on information given by Feints. I wasn't necessarily a massive fan of that kind of separation push, but gotta say, Feints gave fantastic information, and Marvel pushed in and flanked around and got the kill, but now as it's going to be last player standing, Feints going up against Grizz, it's not going to be easy for Feints.
No, it's not indeed. You saw him come up top, that P1 area. Grizz obviously was still lingering around the area. He opts to push back, is going to hold the head glitch. This is perfect time being played by Grizz. Don't give your opponents anything to work with. Peek. Oh, Feints!
Oh, my lord.
You gave him a slither of time, and what'd he do with it? He violated you.
Oh, my lord. Feints! Oh, let's go! Spicy meatball play from Feints. Definitely a little bit of a throw from Grizz, but you can't argue that Feints was resilient. He knew he had to kind of push. He had to play aggressive. He had nothing to lose, and he made it work. Good play.
Good play indeed. Stamina don't have much to lose here in the Search and Destroy. They're up 4-2. That last round could be detrimental. Good God. Grizz going to be able to do some shotgun banditing. He finds 2. Shark and Balance bite the dust. As a matter of fact, Marvel's... Man, the trade just came through so fast there. I couldn't even keep up.
Yeah, I know.
As a matter of fact,
Me too.
Grizz going to go ahead and get that bomb plant down, but guess who's still alive? Grizz and Narcs, and there's no Fates here to give information for Marvel. This is a tough one. The bomb's down, 40 seconds on the clock. The rotation is going to come through, but Marvel not having a teammate, definitely going to impair his vision here.
Curious as to why Narcs is there. Low-key makes sense. Yeah, actually, no, it really does make sense. He's in a good position for the time being. Marvel is running out of time. 20 seconds left on the clock to make a bit of a move. I think that's why Narcs realizes he needs us to push a little bit forward, because if Marvel is going to make a move, it's going to be in the next 5 seconds, and Narcs gets the kill. Great positioning by Narcs. Great play by Stamina. There you go. Game point.
Not going to see much creativity in the Search and Destroy for a few reasons that I've already, declared that. But in the 5v5 format, Team Deathmatch on Search and Destroy has been interesting so far. Marvel able to pick up first blood for the guys over at Asylium. Going to get, looking to buy around here. You saw the Hardpoint. It was tough. The guys over at Stamina easily take it. Now it's a match point here. Feint's going to be caught lacking. Slayer picks up his fourth. He's going to be taken down. Shark on the trades. Drari finds one in balance, and that's going to give the man advantage over to the guys over at Stamina now. Stamina have Narcs and Drari left to play with, and Shark is going to be the last one defending. He's going to peek up top, and hello, it's Drari. Game, set, match. Stamina up 2-0.
Wow.
I said it. I'm fearful for Asylium, but that's why, right there, 6-2. Obviously, we didn't get to see a complete Search or Destroy game as they all made that A push. It's 100% predictable in that format, but the execution was on point for Stamina.
Maybe it was map. I don't know. I'm trying to find... I don't want to say I'm trying to find an excuse, but I'm trying to find some kind of justifiable reason why Asylium looked so weak there and so overpowered.
I'll tell you why, Grizz is the excuse you get. It's the equalizer. That R9 is beautiful.
You're not wrong, but even when they're the attacking side, Asylium just looked so linear. They look so one-dimensional, and then as the defending side, they were a little bit too aggressive while also being too linear and walked into Grizz and the rest of the Stamina players. So it's weird. Asylium are not having a good day, and I know they can play better. Stamina, hey, look, gotta give them props and give them credit. They've been overall very controlling across the first two games. But I feel like we're not seeing the proper Asylium, or the Asylium we expected.
Okay, we could try and sum it up. So the first two games, we'll start with the Hardpoint. Hardpoint. Asylium had every opportunity to win that game. All right, you had two Goliaths, poorly used, by the way, poorly used.
Yeah.
You have a poor start from a few players who normally carry. You also have rotations over to that P4 where things just kind of went very, very poorly. It started out with the first Goliath being used and instantly gets taken down. The score streaks in play for Stamina were on point. The operators were on point. Now, on the flip side of things, Asylium really needs to be disciplined with their score streak usage. Their lack of awareness in that first Hardpoint was it was ridiculous. And of course, Stamina is going to maximize on it. As a matter of fact, they had a stellar Search and Destroy. As I mentioned, it was basically a 5v5 team deathmatch in a Search and Destroy format. You just reset. Obviously, Stamina won those trades to begin with, and the rounds are going to go a lot smoother if you have the man advantage. So, Asylium, what do they need to do here in Game 3, Imperium?
Man, because we're going back to an objective-focused game mode, right? We are at least on a different map. We're heading on over to Raid. So I think that kind of evens it up a little bit. Because Takeoff is quite a unique map in a lot of ways. But if you're Asylium, man, it's a good question. Definitely operator usage and the timing of that needs to be a lot more on point and a lot more synergized and a little bit more calculated. But I'd like to see just the whole team play a bit more together.
There we go.
And set themselves up. It's tricky. It's really tricky because, again, I don't think they're doing anything spectacularly wrong. It's just that mix of not playing the best and Stamina playing particularly good.
You hit the nail on the head right there. You said teamwork. That was a key word. Why?
Yeah.
Because the one round that I felt like Asylium worked much better than their opponents was the round that Marvel and Feints were the last two alive.
Yes.
And Feints was able to get that information to his and you saw that execution was on point, right?
Yeah.
So if we can get that kind of synergy and that kind of teamwork from Asylium here in Game 3, I will definitely believe we'll see a Game 4, hands down. But It's going to come at a very hard ask, and that's a raid map that has a little bit of sneaky angles for that shotgun to come into play. Grizz, obviously, top fragged in both the hardpoint and the Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
He's going to be the key factor for Stamina to continue on with their journey here in a 3-0 situation. So, all right, there we go.
It is going to be tough. I'm glad you highlighted Grizz because I think he's really been such a big goat and as a stable goat for Stamina across this whole season since he's pretty much been in the team, honestly. So yeah, he's gonna have to be. If there's one player that you need to like shut down, it has to be Grizz.
It has to be. You got to steer clear of mid. As much as you want to make the push up, you got to know he's going to be there. As a matter of fact, he does push up all the way through. Fade's able to win that gunfight a little bit out of range from the R9. The map control is going to come early. 3 trades come in, and you got to say it. Asylium looking pretty good so far. Can they execute on this collective push towards B? 2 kills come through for Drari there. That's absolutely massive.
Oh, lovely shots by Fainty does end up getting traded. And here's the thing for Asylium. You don't need to go for B straight away, right? I get you want to get those, that double cap. But in my eyes, just get ahead in kills, right? Trade up efficiently. Unleash those operators at the right time. And then that will allow you to more cleanly grab a firm hold of that B cap. And grab it and take it in your hands. But in the end, they're able to find that double cap, and now they can start racking up a bit of a lead.
Yep, that is a early advantage here for Asylium. They were to capitalize on that B cap. The trade's going to come through. Both teams picking up equal share. Jazz actually going to make it on equal shift. Going to push up. Balance in a good position here. Finds one, but is going to be traded. Slayer not having the best start. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody has for Stamina. And this is Asylium starting things off right. Need that teamwork to come through. They have shown that they are capable of it here. Can they continue on? Slayer going to find one. The push towards this A side's going to come early.
Oh, I like this.
The flip from Stamina.
I like this. Recognizing that, do we really have it in our hands to really grab the B? No, not really. Not at the moment. So they go for the A. It doesn't quite work out, but I really absolutely appreciate what Stamina are trying to pull off. They do also now distract and they're able to grab the B, so this is some fantastic big brain play from Stamina.
Yeah, there's a lot of teamwork going into this. Drari winning 2 massive gunfights right on that B site. He was stunned, mind you. The smoke came through. He absolutely violated that Type 25. Is sitting pretty in his hands. Fade's going to be able to find one in Zig there, but when you've got a player who is as resilient as Drari, able to make things happen, you saw the maneuver towards that A site, it alleviated a little bit of pressure on the B site. You win those big gunfights, that is what ultimately is going to help you win these games. And what was starting off to be a great advantage here in the first half for Asylium, the roles have flipped, and now got a little bit of adversity. Are they going to be able to handle it?
The one thing is that I would prefer to see in spawns aside is I would have preferred to see Asylium go for the C cap instead of trying to defend the A cap and recapture it, because that was, I think, a bigger product of them losing the B was trying to grab back that A. Instead, they should have possibly gone for the C, and that would have been that little bit of a, well, anything you can do, we can do better.
Yeah, it's that give and take situation. They try to take A. They give you C. You got to maximize on that. Now we're going to see the push come through. It looks like Fates and Shark are going to be looking for that C-side flip, but it's, in my opinion, a day late and a dollar short, man. They're going to make a two-player push over. There's one player to deal with. That's Shift. Shift finds one, Shift finds two, and they shut things down quick. The C-site was never going to be compromised there with Shift there. And a massive first-half turnaround there for Stamina.
I really love the fact that Drari, is it Drari or I believe it was Drari that was using the SKS. Either Drari or Narcs. Narcs. Sorry, it's Narcs that's using the SKS. I really think that's an underutilized gun in this kind of mode and this kind of map. I know he ends up getting taken out at the very start of it, but I really think he's onto something, picking up that loadout in this mode, in this map.
No, yeah, we saw a lot of the AMAX usage earlier on in the season, but with the SKS getting that little bit of hit coming through mid-season, you didn't see that transition to the SKS from a lot of these players, which I was hoping for. Space made the transition early and just absolutely owns the gun. And there's a reason why they're trying to ban it. The dude is a freak of nature with it. Now, I don't see that kind of presence. You see Inferno try to use it here and there, but, you know, he opts to push for that M13 more than anything now. Obviously, he's not in this game, so probably not even needed now as Slayer came through and just is racking up the kills by himself here. Ring control on point. Stamina looking to close things out in a 3-0 fashion. Asylium. The backs of a last, you know, second chance opportunity for that Stage 5 invite. Pick up a playoff spot and maximize it to the fullest, but, you know, are kind of getting, you know, outplayed here. It's not looking good.
Yeah, they're kind of getting owned, and I'm also trying to have a look at having a look at the loadouts from the Asylium side. I think they're a little bit too narrow-minded.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the Stamina's loadouts, they have 2 Type 25s, an R9, an SKS, and an AK-117. Right, those fit many different areas of this map a little bit more proficiently than the loadout that's coming out from the Asylium players. And really, I think that's what's helping them to stay, to an extent, in control of this game. I really think it's part of it.
Yeah, we're approaching that triple cap territory. As a matter of fact, I do see the push towards the B site coming through for 2 players for Asylium, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna come here. As a matter of fact, Marvel gonna clear off the site himself, but you gotta have a little bit more control here as the game is coming down to the wire. We are in triple cap territory. Marvel wins a few gunfights. Narcs able to utilize the death machine, but the B cap comes through. Now they need the A site, and I do believe, look at the stack of players from Stamina. They're all over it.
Remember what I believe it was either Asylium or Navi did yesterday when it was a similar situation in a domination game where they knew that time was on their hands and they only had to protect that one point, and that's exactly what the players from Stamina are doing. They're holding on to the A cap as if it's their baby right now.
They are, and I think it was against Asylium. Oh, no, it was a Stamina. Stamina, obviously in a flip scenario here. Now it's their turn to hold the baby and make sure that it is protected with all its might. And the B-cap's going to come through for Shift. That's going to deter the eyes of Feints here. He's going to focus his attention on that site. But, you know, lo and behold, we've got only about a few seconds left before the game's over with. Very tough. You know, you get that second chance in. You get that playoff berth here in the Mobile Mayhem Fall 2021 season. And you fall very, very shy of a Game 4 here. 3 games in, just absolutely on point here for Stamina.
I could tell that Shark was doing absolutely everything he could right until the bitter end, and I gotta give credit to Asylium for coming back into this domination game quite proficiently, grabbing that double cap. But like you said, and you called it, it was getting to that triple cap territory. Stamina knew it, Asylium knew it, they tried. They couldn't succeed. Stamina, they grab a 3-0 series, and it's unusual, but I think to give Asylium credit, they did still look a little bit better that game in my eyes.
No, yeah, they started things off strong. Obviously, they had a little bit of a, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of an upset when that A side came through and it was compromised. You know, we wanted to see that C side push come through, and it just didn't. Lack of, you know, awareness in that scenario again. Obviously, we saw the 2 Goliaths be their downfall in the first game. That third game was a little bit of a lack of awareness towards that give and take scenario. They take A, you gotta be aware that they're gonna give you C there. We didn't see that kind of push. They tried to refocus and regain the site. They weren't effective. Yeah. And, you know, that first half was devastating for them. They had a 16-point deficit to overcome, and they never stood a chance after Stamina came through just too strong in the second half. So taking a look at the stats, huge shout-outs to Stamina and Asylium, respectively. Stamina prevailed, though, 3-0 scenario. 26 and 15 for Drari. He popped off, and I believe he won a few big clutch gunfights to go along with it to cap that B side along. So it's a tough one for Asylium to digest, but they got a lot to look forward to still.
They do. Stamina, man, this team is looking so consistent. Even when they lose, they still look good. They still look consistent, right? And here we saw the whole team step up. Grizz still slaying like an absolute beast. I'm glad you highlighted Drari, but honestly, like, when you're looking at a stage 5 team to maybe be dark horses, it's not that Stamina aren't good, but I could see them being kind of that dark horse that gets to the grand final, right? Because I think name-wise, right now, kind of name-wise and to an extent reputation-wise, give or take, I think they're behind Nova and Navi. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But coming into stage 5, man, I would not be surprised if Stamina got to the final. You know, they're such a good team. They are such a good team.
No, they are as well. As I'm looking at it, they're in Group A. They don't have, Navi or Asylium to deal with. As a matter of fact, the real teams that they got to be aware of are, what is ARP cooking up? Explicit has been pretty decent for the past few weeks. Skade, one of those teams that can hit or miss at any point. And the biggest competition in my eyes, based off of what I've seen, is Nova for them. So they have ample opportunity to take advantage of that. As a matter of fact, with the way that it's structured, one of these teams from that Group A is going to move on. Stamina has as much of a stake at it as Nova does, and that is without any question. And respects to the other teams, because at any given time they can show up and show out. But as far as consistency goes, that Stamina and Nova team, one of those teams are going to move on, in my opinion. Yeah, it's who's going to show up and be more consistent at that point. Yeah,
exactly. And I could see Stamina being the more consistent teams. That's kind of what I'm kind of really trying to put out there, is that Stamina can really be a consistent team. But for now, that will be then. For now, credit to Stamina. They end up getting third. They win the third, fourth playoff, and they can move on with that. They can build on it.
You're absolutely right. That is going to close out that series and that chapter of Mobile Mayhem for Asylium and Stamina. Stamina obviously taking the bag there. Well fought 3 games. Would have liked to see a little bit more from Asylium, but it is what it is. I'm just glad we got to see the series, because Stamina drops out 2 seasons in a row. We were supposed to see that, series from, this particular one last season. We get to see it now, and I was very pleased to even see the gameplay. So Stamina win that 3rd place, and now what do we got ahead of us? Do we have any more games?
We have the grand final, baby!
Yes! There we go. I threw it out there, a little bit of bait there, and Imperium coming through on the execution, bro.
I gotcha.
Man, look at that beard too, man. You're just super sexy tonight, man. I love it. Glowing, my guy, glowing.
Have to look the best for the best teams. We're having Nova going up against Navi. 2 teams beginning with N, but who's going to be the W in the series? Best of 7 verdict. It's going to be damn good. It's going to be more than damn good. It's going to be sexy. It's going to be smexy. It's going to be every syllable, every animant, every word, every phrase, everything you want to apply for a hell of a series. It's going to be it.
It is going to be a banger for sure. We're going to take a shorter mission to get these teams in here. We've set the stage. We've got the grand finals right around the corner. Navi, Nova, going to be up next. And we are back. Stage is set. Nova Esports. Navi looking to battle it out. We've got a rematch from last season's Mobile Mayhem ending. And guys, I'm here for it. The show is on the road. It must go on. I'm here this time, Imperium. I promise.
This is just insane, right? You know, you've got two giant. When you really look at the scope of esports overall, you got two pretty big goddamn freaking orgs fighting against each other in Mobile Mayhem Grand Finals. That's amazing. Like that's actually honestly so goddamn amazing. And these T2 teams are giant worthy. They're legend worthy. They stepped up to the plate time and time again. They've proved themselves time and time again. You've got the giant slayers of last season. I know.
Yes, the Cinderella story.
I know, the kind of Cinderella story, but they came in to kind of this season. They qualified for stage 5. They beat the odds from that standpoint. They massively beat the odds coming from the loser bracket. They get picked up by Navi. Amazing. And then you have Navi, right? Nova, should I say. Nova have just been, to an extent, the kings of Europe. They have been the kings of Europe. They qualified to stage 5 from the Masters. They didn't need to worry about it. They haven't had to worry about it. They really haven't.
No.
But now, it's going to be giant against giant, king against king.
Yep, stage is set. Stage 4 champions in Navi. You got your Masters champions in Nova. How else could we do this? Right? We've set the stage. They've shown amazing regular season. Well, Navi really was. I won't get off tangent. I won't let the hype. We've seen amazing quarterfinal and semifinal battles from both teams. Nova obviously get that bye for the semifinals, and now we've got a best of 7 to determine who is the Mobile Mayhem champions for this fall 2021 season. And guys, I'm super excited. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into it. Start things off with a Summit Hardpoint. As you can see on the map there, takeoff, search, and destroy, followed by a standoff domination.
Yeah, those first 3 games are pretty juicy in my eyes, because you've got such a volatility of map styles in my eyes. You got Summit, that kind of close quarter based map, one of the smallest maps in COD Mobile, and then you're instantly going from that to Takeoff, which is one of the biggest maps. Then you got Standoff, which is just legendary in itself. We are going to have a break for awards, by the way, after game number 3, but presuming, obviously, we're going to have a game 4, Hackney Yard, Search and Destroy, Hardpoint Raid. If we get to a game 5, if it's game 6, Domination Standpoint, and if we do get to that golden game number 7, it's going to be Search and Destroy Raid.
It is indeed, as I'm taking a look at the map vetoes and operator bans. Firing range is going to be one of the choices from Nova, and Navi opting to ban Crossfire. That is in my opinion, one of the best plays they could have made. If this map would have made its way into a Search and Destroy, I would have been very fearful. As a matter of fact, I seen one of their biggest losses come on a Search and Destroy standoff. Well, not standoff, but a Search and Destroy Crossfire. So, interesting to see them continue to ban it. Obvious reason behind it. So, per the usual as well, the Annihilator and the Sparrow are going to be out of play, and that's, your normal operator bans for the mix. Stage has been set. We've got 2 Clash of Titans to come as the best of 7. Out of those maps, which one are you looking for in regards to each team? I'm starting off by saying Nova's going to be picking that Summit map. Is going to be one of their games to take, and then Standoff Domination is going to be my pick for Navi. Reason being, I got to go with them, man. I've seen them play on this map and play against Nova in particular.
Okay,
they are pretty OP with this pick.
Because I was going to go for Search and Destroy Takeoff.
Oh, that's a toss-up.
Or specifically the Takeoff map. In my eyes, to me, that's where I think Navi will shine, at least relative to Summit. Hardpoint for Nova. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's going to be that kind of standoff domination where we see them going to be shining the most. At the end of the day, like, it's not really going to come down to that one map, right? It's going to come down to who can be consistent across the whole series and who can get the job done and capitalize on their opponent's weaknesses.
You're absolutely right. We're going to go ahead and dive right into the mix, guys. You asked for it. You've got it. Game number 1, Hardpoint Summit. I clearly picked Nova in this instance, but I am not going to be shocked if Navi's able to put some points here early on the board. As we're going to see the rotations come through. Top side of the map is going to be controlled by Navi. Bottom side, Trek is going to come through. Karma going to pick up first blood as well as Saturn's. Trades are going to be made, but the point is not going to be determined.
I gotta say, it's been a good start for Nova. It is somewhat of a testy beginning overall for both sides, but Nova being able to rack up a couple of points in this P1 is very healthy, with 0 being utilized for the Navi boys. Combo play from Nova as they rip on through. 12-2, 30 seconds left. That R9 being utilized by Saturns is absolutely perfect for Summit.
It is indeed. I've seen him utilize this gun on a plethora of maps. Summit is obviously the choice, in my opinion. If you're going to be rocking a shotgun, that R9 is lethal. Doof is what they call it in Warzone. Oh, it's going to give you some doofs, all right. But a massive takeover here as Navi have found themselves on the point, and they are not being taken down easily. Don, going to be objective player. Viri rocking the perimeter control. Absolutely on point. The contest is in, and P1's down. P2 catwalk is where we're going to see the action take off here in about 5 seconds. Transitions, be on point. I do see spawn secured for now for Nova, but that could change in a matter of moments.
I'm also going to be looking at in terms of the timings of the operators and who's going to be, pulling it out as a team in the right way. Both teams have players kind of relatively close to their operators, but I think Navi have players overall a little bit closer. Specifically, Viri has been absolutely tremendous so far for his team, and it's Navi in the lead.
It is Navi in the lead, but not for long, as I see the transition coming through for those spawn sites. Navi going to be taking advantage of the flip. The point is going to be held so far for the guys over at Nova, but, this is not a money hill. If anything, it's probably one of the worst points on the map. P3 is going to come through here momentarily. You can already see their focus and attention being held. Kike trying to maintain those spawn sites. He's going to have one player to deal with here, and that's Yaya. Yaya's tremendous in the out in the open. Does hit the shots, and now you can see the devastation coming through, and it does look like Nova's going to be able to solidify the early beginnings of this P3 transition.
Creed has his death machine, so does Viri. So 2 of those are available. Neil and Saturns also have their operators available. This is something with both teams being so close. The timing of those operators are going to be absolutely imperative. Nova grabbing a fantastic start on this P3 with now a near 40 plus point lead.
Yeah, Neil doing a great job of bunkering down the anchor for the spawn site. He's got the operator on point. Oh, Kike, where did you even come from? Backside. Flip could come through, but Neil actually going to spawn right there behind him. So, this tower site is just one of those ones, if you get the early flip, it pans out, but obviously that's not the case. They're going to have to double down for new, as I see a massive lead going in favor of Nova, and they are going to go ahead and roll with the good times. They got one player on point. Creed is going to be a determining factor here. Neil in a 1v1 on the backside. This is one of those gunfights you may not want to win. He doesn't anyway, but look at the spawns. This is tough. You got 2 players up top. How does Creed not spawn there?
Oh my lord, absolutely crazy. And never mind the fact that none of the Navi players have pulled out their operators yet. Still the death machine for Creed and Viri to be utilized, along with Kike having his available. The equalizers for Miney is able to be used very nearly from Don Lai. 110 to 32. You got to pull something out, Navi. This is being massively run away with by Nova. You've got to shut them down.
Yeah, Nova doing a great job. They don't make those same mistakes that we saw Asylium made. The operators and the score streaks absolutely on point. You saw that cluster strike. It's preventing the snow side travel. You got to force your way around the long route. And obviously, Navi not able to make great use of that rotation early on. They are on point now, but this is a desperate time here for Navi. They get the point, they hold it, they need a full 15 here in order to even be remotely close to making this comeback. I see the push come through, the pressure is just absolutely on point for Nova. And now they're going to see the contest. Those last 15 seconds aren't going to be yours, and now you're going to have to double down for P1. Things getting out of hand early on that first term around. We're going to see a reset come through P1. Already predominantly held here by the guys over at Nova.
Really good play by Nova. 18-13 KD for Neil. 17-9 for Saturns. 20-10 for Yaya. KD-wise, this team is absolutely running away with it. They're making it count when it comes to the hard points, when it comes to the control. 131-53. This is a very strong start for Nova.
It is, but again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. This game's not over with yet. Well, let's be fair. It's 90-point lead. You're in the P1 reset. It only needs 25 seconds on the clock, and all you need is 5 to grab. They're going to get that easily. And that's going to be a game one, 150 to 150, or to 150 to 53. Jesus. Navi, very unfortunate on the spawns on that P4. That was their transition to turn things around. You saw that 1v1 gunfight from Creed on the backside of P3. Neil wins that. Where does he spawn? He spawns right behind tower.
Yeah, it is definitely tough, but let's be fair, it wasn't the determining factor why Navi lost. Not only did Nova look to want to win more, however, the second Nova's operators ended, in my eyes, Navi have to pull out theirs. They left it far too late in the game to pull out their operators. Absolutely. Like, I don't want to say, like, stupidly late, but I really think, like, in this map, it is, like, so important that you nail those, right?
Yeah.
I know, and it just, unfortunately, was just too late, and they couldn't come back into it. A big, big lead for Nova. 97 points ahead? That's not what Navi want. It's not what Navi... They're better than that. They are definitely better than that.
They're going to have to be better than that. They're moving on from a game one that just they got railed in. Let's just be fair. When times get tough, you got to be able to handle that adversity. We saw several miscues from this Navi team. That P3 transition didn't come through.
Yeah,
that was tough. The 1v1 gunfight from Creed ultimately leads him to spawn right behind the tower side where P3 was. And you're not able to utilize any of your operators. You don't earn score streaks because you get outslayed. Where is the teamwork? Where is the synergy coming through on that P4 transition? Where's the hold on that P4 transition? Granted, it was just a few seconds left. And ultimately, it wasn't going to determine if they won or lost. But those are moments where you got to buckle down. And you have to, continuously make sure that you're able to make a little bit of a fight there in that P4 hold for the last 15 seconds.
Also, how in the blue hell was Saturn's allowed to have 1 minute and 51 seconds on the hard point?
I'd tell you why, because bro is a demon with that R9. And he's going to make you pay on those close quarter combat encounters. And, he had a few of them, man. Bro went 20 and 10, double positive. You get those close quarters, and he's able to utilize that R9. Of course, Of course he's going to have a minute 51 to show for it.
But here's the thing. One thing we need to consider as we head into game number 2 is, what are Navi known for, right?
Oh, man, they're the combat kings.
Navi, exactly. They're known as the team.
They're the giant killers. They're the Cinderella story.
It's not that they want to be behind, but it's kind of like they put themselves into positions time and time again where they're down in the loser bracket. They're down behind in a series, and they'll come back, and they'll come back hard. So, by no means are Navi out of it.
No.
But they do need a very strong game to search and try and take off to really push back hard against Nova.
Yeah, you're right. This is a best of 7. They don't need to necessarily win this one to buy them any more time, but they need at least a close game, in my opinion, in order for it to be, good for the morale. So the first round's going to come through. No trades are going to be made. The strategy's going to come through. Oh, my God, Karma, you're in a very, very aggressive position. He is going to be falling back, and I think he was very aware of the scenario that could have panned out, and you don't want to be the first blood. You're used to getting first bloods, but Neil... going to do your team the deed there, finds one on Creed, but Karma gets instantly traded.
Kike has the bomb in his hand. Miney's going to get taken out by Neil. Neil with that sniper is someone you are really gonna have to look out for, Navi. See another kill going against Navi. Vera is able to at least pick up the bomb. Him and Donlai together. Let's see what they can do.
Only got about a minute left. They could ultimately try and play for a pick here, but it's going to come at a cost. You're going to give away your location. And you're looking at Yaya, who is probably the only one that is going to be out in the open. He's got both corners covered on top side of this P4 area. So the transition is going to come through. He might have heard Don. This is tough. You're gonna have Yaya on your backside because you didn't cover that corner. Yaya doesn't peek it. He did hear him, but is gonna be able to make the grand escape. The nades are gonna come through there. We're very aware of where they could be because they've covered all ends. Neil, oh my God, Neil, where was that shot from? Top side of the A bomb site. That's tough.
Oh my lord. Don't lie. He comes in, gets one. Oh, he nearly gets a second. So close yet so far. Switches over to the pistol. He's the man on a mission. He hasn't got the bomb though. That's the worst thing about it. He gets a couple of shots off by Yaya. Shuts him down.
Yo, the team shots were just too OP. You peek in that corner. You expect there's one there, Turu, but obviously it was a 3v1 scenario. You got to expect, you know, a little bit of, you know, that teamwork coming through for Nova to prevail, and obviously it did. Don had the right intentions, but not being able to follow up on that kill with Turu was absolutely crucial, and Nova able to capitalize on it. 1-for-1 trade's going to be early on here. Creed finds one, Yaya finds one. Miney not being a factor so far. He's 0-2.
Smoke out.
Waiting it out. Saturns takes a bit of damage, has to backtrack around. Yaya comes in, gets a kill on the Very. It's going to get instantly traded by Donlai. That's good, but Creed goes down in the same time. Neil being absolutely masterful with his positioning, using that sniper to his absolute max. And Kike, Donlai once again, last player's up. Kike left on his own.
Yeah, we saw the position there for Nova. Neil was on the inside of that P4 hill, and Staircase absolutely dominated. Saturn's able to win that gunfight. Now we're going to see a similar scenario that we saw last round. This has been all to the norm here for this Navi team so far. You've got a 1v3 to work with. You got all players from Nova exactly on point there. Bombs in his hands. That's the only thing he's got going for him. He's going to get caught in the open. Just, yeah, that's devastating.
Yeah. It seems like Navi don't seem to have a bit of a plan. No, not a plan B. There seems to be an element of panic in how they're playing right now. I don't know exactly what it is, but they need to get their head in the game. There's something not right with how they're playing in this series so far.
They're getting manhandled. That's what's not right. Nova just playing way too dominant right now. Kike able to get first blood for the team is huge, but
good.
I haven't been able to see them capitalize because Neil is on 4 kills and he has been on point. He's 4-0 right now. So, of course, when you allow a sniper who's that OP to continue on wrecking your squad one by one, there's no answer to that cause. As a matter of fact, a little bit of a more patient approach isn't going to pay off there as Yaya finds Miney. So, not able to capitalize on that one-player deficit or one-player advantage. You know, Navi now going to be in a tough predicament here. It's a 4v4. The nades come through. You can see Navi fall back, and you know they want to make a push towards A side, but you got to clear both angles. Donna's on a.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Try to play that hero role.
You've already lost the player. I really think, and you bring up a good point about Neil being 4-0. I think one way of Navi potentially shutting them down by getting aggressive, right? As a team, get aggressive right from the start. Kike is able to at least take down Neil. That opens the door, but it is still 2v3. Instantly shut down. Creed is on his own. Bomb is down. Can he pull off a 1v3? I don't think that's going to be the case.
Not with Saturn's being able to regenerate. Like, if Creed had been right there with Kike on that push, it would have been a different story. Oh my god, that SVD, I heard it's OP, but what was that ADS time? I don't know. It took him so long to line up the crosshairs. Of course he's going to get taken out in the open. So 3 dominant rounds there for Nova and Navi. They're scratching their head right now. What's going on? They need to collect themselves here right now because I'm looking at a very, very unorganized.
They need to get angry. They need to get angry.
They need to play pissed.
they're trying to use every corner of the map, whereas in this situation against a team like Nova, right now they can't afford to do that because they are so far out of control, right? So they need to go in one direction as a full team and use that direction to the fullest of their extent as a team.
Yeah, they're getting abused right now. When you're allowing Yaya to continue to push that P4 area without any kind of repercussions, as a matter of fact, he finally gets doused, a 2-man advantage, a little bit more of a stable start here for the guys over at Navi, but again, that Titan of Terror there for Neo just hitting the shots, 6 kills, finally gets taken down. Miney actually gets on board with his first kill.
Good.
Is this a transitional point for the Navi guys? It might be. I do see the bomb's going to be pushed up towards... Where the hell's the bomb at? Kike!
Kike has it.
He has it, but it's all the way on the opposite side of the map. They've got A cleared. They lose one. Granted, they find one in return, but... You know, overall...
I know, mate. I know.
The step bros. We love you.
I know, with how they've been playing, I get where you're coming from. I really get where you're coming from.
Oh my God.
Are they going to lose it? And Saturn's just turns it around and says, screw you guys. I'm not going home just yet. Don't lie. He's left on his own.
He is. Don's got a Finnegan in. Saturn's is absolutely abusing this roster right now. Man, you see, that's what I was saying. That timing. You clear the A site, you get the bomb down, you put the pressure on. Now, you're in a 1v1 scenario. You're just out collecting the bomb, and guess what? Saturns knows where that bomb is. Wow.
Saturns will know exactly where that bomb is planted. At least Donlai has been able to put it down. Now he can play time. That's a positive part.
It is, but he doesn't have anything long range, which is an issue. Don able to... Okay,
he doesn't need to.
Good shots.
He doesn't need to. Yep. I definitely saw where you're coming from, Verdict. I definitely did. But I also trusted that Navi had enough of a body advantage to pull it out. And once Donlai got that bomb down, he was going to be able to play that.
You know, they're getting to a point where they're playing so recklessly at this moment. That round needed to be a huge one for them. It came down to a 1v1. Don absolutely clutched it. But let's be fair, this Nova team has just literally picked Navi apart left and right. And I got to see a little bit more production from Navi and a little bit more organized, a little bit more team synergy, because one bomb misplacement like that, what if he got caught out in the open and Don had to force all the way back?
However, Verdict, this is the second round that Navi have gotten the first kill, right? Now, it has been traded this time around. Donlai being able to get the second kill at least. But I gotta say, I think Navi are being a little bit more proactive. I think they are being a little bit more calculated. I know you're being harsh
critical
on them for a reason because because dude, they're a team with such a big name. But they're going up against giants themselves, and that's always going to test them. Trade once again, 3 against 2 with the bomb down. 30 seconds left on the clock. 28, make that down as Tour is going to get a kill on the Viri.
Yep. Oh, this is great positioning from Creed. The bomb is...
Yeah, I like that.
Creed up top is OP. Donlai does give away his location. He's going to make his opponent think there. Turu not going to be able to execute a bomb defuse here because he's got 2 players to deal with. He knows where one of them is. Turu able to utilize... there we go, Don. Thank you. Do not push that site. Put a few shots on him. There we go. Good round from Anarchy, or from Navi, sorry. They're playing like Anarchy right now because their regular season was mediocre at best. Right now, they're starting to make me panic, okay? I need to see... I need to see that clutch team that, we've grown to love.
Dude, they've won the last 2 rounds. They've done exactly what they needed to do to crawl back while being a very set of poor attacking rounds. Now they're on the defensive side. Now it's up to Nova to see what they can do with the bomb in their hands. Turo holding on to it for the time being. Shots being fired by Karma. They're looking for an A side bomb plant. This seems to be the case, but it's a good spread for the Navi side. I really love Kike holding the stairwell. You have Very holding on towards that B side. This is very good for the Navi boys.
It is, but on a map like this, you spread too thin and you get an aggressive push towards either side.
No, it's true.
You're going to be outmanned. I love Donlai's position initially. He was holding that staircase on A. I just needed to see a little backside support. Yeah, if you're going to push someone there aggressively who can, maximize on those close quarter combat battles, obviously it's going to favor yourself. Creed picks up one on the backside. Maybe I underestimated that SVD's performance.
Well, Miney pushed forward onto the top of the scaffolding and was able to get a little bit of information, pass it over. Neil picked it off. This is why I like the spread for Navi, because I totally understand the whole out of position if you're too heavily spread, but that spread allowed them and afforded them to get information and give that over and play as a team. So this is what I love about how Navi are playing this game.
Karma picks up one in Miney, but still a few more to deal with. It's a 2v4, 3-for-1 trades coming in favor of Navi. They look a little more composed on the defense. And, you know, Kike out on the island right now in that P4 area. Staircase covered pretty well. But you get one wrong push, it's not going to happen, though. The push is going to come on the backside. Creed's going to be outnumbered here. Turu's going to get some shots. Very trade, so very up top. Don from the back. Good coordination. Navi. Tying us up here. This is a nail-biter still, bro. Nail-biter.
I know, but as soon as a couple of kills played out for Navi on that spread, they were able to join them closer together because that eliminated Nova from being able to do much across the whole map. So it made it easier for Navi to control that round. And let's be fair, as a game mode, this map is a defensive game mode because of how big the map is.
Oh, big trades coming in. 3 players drop from Nova. I appreciate Imperium for talking me off the ledge. Because I was seriously like, come on, what is Navi doing, bro? Make this interesting. I know you're getting outplayed in the first half. They turn things around, pick up 2 on the attack, which is great. And now we're seeing a stellar defense so far. But Neil's still alive, gives me hope for Nova. As a matter of fact, the transition is going to come through. Turu going to be super weak. Don, got to get the information. Where's the pressure from the rest of your players? I understand you want to be conservative. If Don makes this out alive, this is going to be the ultimate fail for Nova.
In Navi, we trust. Verdict. In Navi, we trust.
Fair
is going to get taken out by Creed. Neil is left to his own devices. Nowhere near the bomb for the time being. He needs to try and get at least 1 kill on board, but he's being spotted out. Can't even get one. He's being pinched apart. He does get a kill with the pistol on the Creed, whipped on through. But Kike, he's going to show him exactly a taste of his own medicine. Round in the favor of Navi. They take the lead for the very first time in this game.
Well, in this series, in reality. I mean, they had a stout P1 on the hardpoint, but, you know, everything was not stout after that. A little bit of redemption here. Game 2 scenario. Search and Destroy looking pretty decent on the defense. In my opinion, you got to close it out here on the defense. You can't flip sides. Creed looking to solidify that. Finds one. Don's going to be weak, taking some shots. A-side pressure. We can see the adjustments here from Navi. They're going to make the push up. Kike going to hold fort down on the backside in case they decide to, you know, pull out and go back for the flank. Miney tried to prevent that rotation over as well, but he's going to get caught in the open. Going to take Fountain. Oh, playing life to the fullest. But Kike.
He doesn't get spotted. He doesn't get spotted. But he's out in the open. He's going to be exposed. The best thing he can do is try and slow them down. He does. Kike is able to provide support and get the double kill on board.
Nova looking a little frustrated here. Don going to take down Karma. Now it's going to be on the backs of Yaya. Yaya finds one in Creed. Still got 3 players left to deal with, and you don't have the bomb. This is a tough scenario here. You know, the roles flipped. We side-swapped. Things looking a lot better here for this Navi squad. As a matter of fact, the trigger discipline from Yaya just absolutely on point. But with all that being said, it looks like Nova has no idea what they want to do. They look dumbfounded. Very gonna find the shots as Yaya peeked the corner. Don was the decoy there. Good play there.
Honestly, yeah, like, I don't want to say Nova are having the same issues that Navi have, but they kind of are, and I think I have a bit of a reason why. A little bit of a theory, which I'm going to continue to observe as this game goes on, and it could be right, it could be wrong. Either way, this game goes on 5-3. It's game point for Navi. Slow things down, walk in towards Nova, allow you to control. But Neil and Yaya together, they get a double kill. Viri is going to trade.
Oh, Viri!
That's good. Miney with the double kill. So good.
Yo, that pressure from Nova on the A side almost, you know, turned things around, but, you know, they went all or nothing. And it failed. 6-3 win, man. The game's over with already? Good night. I didn't even realize we were on match point. Shows how much awareness I have on point, but Navi prevailing. They even things out. You made a claim earlier, like, hey, I think the takeoff is going to be the map that we see Navi take. And sure enough, on the backs of a rocky start, turn things around masterfully in that second half.
So here's the thing. Here's where I think some teams are and I recognize that Neil tried to do that differently in that last round. When you're the attacking side and take off, search and destroy, snipers are useless. Not that they're useless, but they really undervalue your ability to control the game. When you're the defending side, snipers are perfect because you're going to automatically be a little bit more passive. You're able to set yourself up and you're able to grab that information. When you're the attacking side in such a big map, you can only really use that size of the map when you have an initial body control because you're trying to plant that bomb, right?
Well played.
You have to play with a little bit more purpose. Whereas we saw both Navi and Nova struggle when they were the attacking side because they were using snipers, in my opinion.
Now
on every scenario,
you're absolutely right, and I think we might have seen a similar case too, as well. As I'm backtracking the game.
Yeah, go for it.
Are we on the same page though? You made it. Okay, so my claim was the search and destroy on Hack the Yard earlier. We saw complete A pushes. So it's the same case here. The search and destroy, we're not gonna see that creativity that we're used to seeing throughout the regular season. We got stage 5 around the corner, and what else could solidify the case other than both Navi and Nova making pushes towards the 8 site. We saw the brute force attempt in the last round. Both sides pushed the A site, and it was basically a 5v5 team deathmatch in that sense. Not a lot of strategy involved. Obviously, these teams have a lot to play for in stage 5, so we respect that. And I'm not trying to highlight that, but if you could look back on both matches, it was the same case, and Hack the Yard's the same case here. That's going to be the norm from now on until that stage 5 comes around.
Yeah, and I do recognize that Neil on that very last round, as far as I know, didn't use a sniper. And he was able to get a number of kills on board. So I do appreciate that attempt from Nova. Unfortunately, it was just kind of too little, too late, and they end up losing a round and losing the second game. Overall, fantastic. Like I said, in Navi, we trust. Just coming into game number 3, Domination standoff. You said this is going to be Navi's map as well. Are you still standing by that?
I am because in the long run, they have such a great resilient factor to themselves. They've proven to be the giant killers last season. They flipped the script in the finals last year. This is their game mode to win. Now, am I picking them to win it? No, but I'm picking this map as a benchmark for them to assert their dominance. If they take it, it's not going to be looking good for Nova. Now, if Nova pick it up, I won't be surprised either. I made claims about the Hardpoint. Obviously, Nova were just, man, recapping so far, Nova, slap Navi to begin with. Now Navi able to slap Nova.
Yeah.
Who's going to be slapping who? They're going to be slapping each other here in game 3?
They're probably going to be slapping each other, right?
I'm looking at Navi to take this game, though.
Okay. I understand why people would also go Nova based on how the two teams have performed in each game mode. We look at it and we go, okay, Nova absolutely slayed on Hardpoint. It was on Summit, and I don't think Navi in any way really warmed up. They looked very kind of slow overall in that first Hardpoint game, but this standoff map, it's going to be big. I'm going to go for Nova on this, being perfectly honest, just because mainly because you've gone for Navi, and I do think Nova will once again kind of go into this and go, hey, let's do this. Let's do this in game 3 and show Navi that we are not to be messed around with.
Game 3 right around the corner. We flip sides, so the blue team is going to be Navi. We did flip cartography, so we're not going to have an issue on that end. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. Rock and roll. Who's going to have the advantage before we take our first break with the MVP announcements and whatnot? I picked Navi. Imperium has selected Nova. Equal love for both teams. Equal opportunity here in Game 3.
Man. Obviously, going for the respective A and C cap is always going to be important. The fight for B in the middle is where it's going to really begin. Very gets the first kill out the Karma. Neil on the Kike. Creed on the Nova Saturns. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Don't lie! Big time push coming through. Not quite the B cap being played out for Navi, but a very good start for this team.
Yeah, a little bit of map control early on. They're going to be able to get this B cap. Oh, yeah! Oh, my God. Thumped you, didn't he? Thought you had an easy cap. Wrong. Yaya played his life. Ended up getting taken down, but you saw the impale from that grenade being on point. I haven't seen too many thumpers this season, but obviously it's making its attempt here in this quarterfinals and now grand final scenario. B-cap does come through for Navi. They're going to have the advantage, but yeah, we still got a stout one to come through. Map control heavily held by Navi off the rip. As a matter of fact, we got 2 in grannies. The backside push, interesting. 3 players come through.
Oh, yes. I like this idea, and I was just thinking this for Nova. It didn't seem like they really wanted to control that kind of B-cap or look to go for it. So switching on over and playing on the underpass to go for A is incredibly insightful. Incredibly insightful. Now, Saturns, his last one up out of the 3 that did initially push. He was able to get the majority of A, but not quite enough, so it's a good response from the Navi boys. But I appreciate the effort. In the end, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Gotta love the creativeness, though. It almost panned out. Saturns picked up a few kills, but luckily, Navi were able to spawn on the backside of that big blue building, and now they're going to be able to continue on with their dominance here in this domination game. Creed, oh my God, Creed. They are.
They're going for it again?
As long as Creed's not watching his back, no one's there to, reciprocate. Of course they're going to go for it. Kike could have been a massive gunfight. Nova.
No.
Yaya.
Okay. No, now they're doing it right. So they're going for a little bit of a bait and switch. It doesn't work out, unfortunately, but they were going for an initial bait where it looked like they were going to go for A again. They turned their attention towards B. However, because Navi have overall so much map control, Nova need to pull out something bigger and better, because right now this is all Navi, baby.
Yeah, man. It's like, hey, I'm going to continue to reach my hand into the cookie jar until I get that cookie. Navi has done a great job of slapping those hands so far, so good for them. Yep. The B site is going to have a little bit of pressure. They are going to be able to get the cap, but Miney able to utilize... What is Miney using? Oh, those are the equalizer. Okay.
That happened out of nowhere. That was like an RKO. Just completely out of nowhere from the Nova boys. It's amazing, and Navi take their foot off the pedal for a solitary second, and they paid a price.
They do indeed. That lead that you were going to have going into the second half is starting to slowly diminish. You're still going to have a quite a sizable advantage. But I do see a few players making their way over to this A site. And that's going to be Yaya, who's actually one-shot. Veery, how do you allow him to live there? Take the man's out. Pressure's going to come through, but ultimately 3 players on point. And the A-cap. Oh, time does prevail, and Navi actually dodged a bullet there.
Yep. Yeah, they do. They do. I love the fact that Nova wanted to, go for that triple cap right until the very end. Navi still have a bit of a lead. It's around a 17-point lead that they have against Nova in the second half. Seems like Nova, they're going to grab their A cap just a little bit quicker than Navi's C cap. That might have a bit of an impact, but we see Navi get an earlier start on that B without really pulling anything massive out of the bag. Veery has been absolutely spot on for his team so far. 10 kills, the second highest.
Easy caps there for the guys over at Navi. Miney does a great job of that perimeter control through mid. Nobody on site for this B, and you can see the spawns. How the hell did they spawn all the way at gas station? You see the redirection, right? These guys literally they could have gotten triple cap there if Navi had been in good position. That's not the game they want to play. We're to see Yaya win a much crucial gunfight there, but...
Oh, look at Veery, though. Look at Veery. Beautiful use
of that
Beautiful
dragon
use
fire,
of
yes.
Of that dragon fire. Yes, so good. Now it's once again, it's back up to 25-point lead for Navi. You called them to win out on this map. You highlighted standoff is going to be their map. They're certainly proving it.
They are certainly proving it as well. Karma actually winning a few of his on is going to be able to do it alone for the time being. 2 players on point. Can they cap the B site? They haven't been able to do it so far here in the second half. They're going to be halted yet again. And Navi looking way too OP right now, but the smoke is going to clear the site. Oh, somebody get on B for Nova. It's not going to happen. Some map control through mid. Going to come through crucial. Kike going to lose one gunfight. Yaya. Oh, mighty.
Woo! Yaya is so good. He was integral to Nova taking the B cap in the first half, and he once again integral to them taking the B cap in the second half.
Don almost gets a foot on that B site. Going to be halted and reduced. Nova still have a dog in the fight. I'm not sure what we're standing at as far as a triple cap scenario. It does look like it might be 1 second, 2 seconds. Yeah, this might be triple cap territory for Nova as I'm trying to calculate in my head while also paying attention to the game. I think the C cap is all that Navi need here. Yeah, by a slither of like 1 or 2 seconds shy. Nova are going to have to push the C site, and this is going to be an interesting one to see the pin.
They're doing it, yeah. Look at what he's doing. He's playing around. He's going to try and move these Navi players around. He gets a kill. That's a good start. And now with the support from the rest of his team, they should be able to pull out a little bit of an A-cap move, but they can't commit too much to that. They know it. Unfortunately, Yaya gets shut down. Navi still holding on to that C cap.
They are holding on to it indeed. It's coming down to the wire here. Will the triple cap come through for Nova? It's looking pretty stout here for Turu. He's going to be able to win gunfight. He's going to have 2 players on point.
Oh,
Karma! They did it!
Karma! Do they get it?
They got it. And look where all of Navi is at. They're in gas station. They're trying to find a home flag for themselves. They're not going to do it. Karma holding down on the backside barn. See, it's going to be compromised, but look, there's a sentry gun. You got a 6-man on board. That deficit is recovered. The advantage now, Nova. Turning things around here in Game 3. I called Navi to take it, but hey. A little bit of unfortunateness for Navi. Nova able to capitalize on some great teamwork.
This game isn't over. This game isn't over, okay? 137 to 146. A double cap could definitely set it up. Possibly a triple, but I don't think it's going to be the case. Nova are going to get the point. They're going to get the win. They take this series 2-1.
At the front door, 150 to 139. You're telling me Nova turned it around, got the triple cap, held it for the longest, and Navi wasn't able to recap? 80 point.
What a game.
What a game.
What a game.
Hell of perseverance for Nova, man. They get outplayed the entire first half and the majority of the second half. But some fortunate gunfights, some great positioning, some excellent teamwork. They prevail. They take Game 3. And I was saying this was Navi's to win. Why? Because I had a feeling they were going to win the Search and Destroy. This is where they could take the lead and run with it. And sure enough, they're going to be put right back in their place after that Nova upset.
Simple as that. Simple as this. I'm going to give you one word verdict. Yaya.
Yeah.
Yaya.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like, both halves, he was such a big reason why his team came back into this game. First half, the reason why they were able to capture the B cap. Second half, reason why they were able to capture the B cap. He was also a big instrumental part of them trying to carve that pathway in towards the C cap and take control of the triple cap. 6 captures along with Toro and Saturn's. But either way, to me, it was like Yaya leading the way on that one.
Yeah.
And it was a massive performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, of course the first half was predominantly held by Navi, right? They were able to sit back and maximize on some great map control. The attempts were shut down when they needed to come through, and they maintained that double cap for the longest. Second half, they weren't able to do that. As a matter of fact, on that C side, it's so much more difficult to maintain that middle lane. You had 2 players using the SVD. It's like it's kind of like an SKS and a sniper combined. You saw the rate of fire; it's not that high, but it's powerful. You gotta be able to adjust on the fly, and I think that's where Navi dropped the ball. You can't be reactive. You got to be proactive about that scenario. And it was a day late, dollar short situation. You take a look at the scorecard. My guy Neil popped off 24 and 14,
true.
4 caps, 6
True.
caps, 6 caps for the man. Yeah. You know,
and I also gotta say, Miney had a hell of a game overall, 22-16. I feel like he's kind of struggled in this series so far, but this domination, despite losing, I think he found his feet in this game and is really warming up.
Oh, you're absolutely right. We are going to get geared up for that 4th game, but before we do, we actually going to take a short intermission to allow these players to charge and whatnot, get everything back and collective. We're actually going to announce awards. Rodin's got everything set up for us. I'm not 100% sure what the case was, but we will recap all of the selected players for their each respective role. And we'll start out with that sniper role.
So the nominations for the sniper role, as I will scroll up, is Neil of Nova, Denicio of Meeseeks, Ipana of Clash, Capo of Gallant, Marvel for Anarchy. Now, oh my god, forget the name of the team, and then Narcs for Stamina.
There we go.
Asylium, there you go.
I mean, you want to go ahead and run through the list, or you think we should go ahead and just break it down? You know,
well, if we, I think it'd be good to recap.
Each respective, and then
except for the rookie, because there's only 2 options. So MVP, I think it's important to highlight the nominations for MVP.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Highlight the nominations.
Oh,
for
yeah,
MVP.
there we go. MVP nominees. We had a pool of players selected by each team for their respective team as well. Anarchy, or Navi now, going to nominate Creed. Greek for Aphelion. Faints for Asylium. Raid for Gallant. Denicio for Meeseeks. Saturns for Nova. Ajax for Illuminati EU. Patron for Clash. Shift. Stamina. Oh, just so OP. 2-2 for Bunker. And now we've got the awards selected. I think we can start from bottom to top. Sniper. We've got Neil filling out that 3rd place vote from Nova with 8 votes.
In 2nd place, Denicio for Meeseeks. You highlighted him as a fantastic sniper.
Yeah.
He definitely showed up strong with 9 votes.
And of course, man, has claimed that title for EU this season, and surely enough, he gets the votes to back it up. That's going to be Marvel from Asylium. He's going to go ahead and take that 1st place, and bro has popped off all season long. So a well-deserved sniper award for him. I think this is the first time we've seen someone else other than Narcs. Maybe last season. I think Neil might have gotten it last season. I have to take a look at it, but Marvel popped the hell off all season long. He was a demon. It didn't matter what team he was on. Switched to scripts. Pops off with Asylium as well as he did with Anarchy at the beginning of the season. So, of course, he's going to get that vote.
Yeah, for sure. Cannot argue with that. Well, moving on over to Rookie of the Season. There was only 2 options, for sure, but still deserved options between these 2 players. Fortunately, runner-up and 2nd place is General Gore from Meeseeks. 28 votes. I thought he was going to win.
Yeah.
But he came in 2nd place.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I just ridiculous the amount of effort that Meeseeks team put in. You went through a little bit of adversity. They were able to sustain and make a playoff run. Obviously, his presence was very much needed. He performed when he needed to, but man, that Rookie of the Season by far, by 7 votes actually, going to go to Moro.
Yeah.
The man with the snipes, that dude was so crazy. It's surprised that I didn't see him with a little more votes on the sniper of the split, but obviously his stint was very more focused towards the beginning of the season, and he made a huge impact. He earned 35 votes. He earned that Rookie of the Season split for himself, and just an absolute performance. Hopefully we'll see him back next season, because I know we mentioned it a little bit off stream last season. We talked about who should be nominated and why they should be nominated. And one of the factors that we mentioned, and I think it was you in particular, is sustainability. You receive that award, we expect you to come back and back it up the next season.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to seeing if he makes his way back into the scene.
For sure. For sure. But now we move on to the most important award of the season. That is MVP of the season. A lot of choices. So absolutely cracked players being nominated across the teams, across the board, but there's only a top 3 that could be crowned. And in 3rd place, it is going to be Raid of Gallant.
Second place rounding up. This is such a narrow vote here. I mean, it's literally 1 vote per player off. Second place doesn't necessarily pick up that sniper role, but he definitely picked up the second place MVP role. Denicio from Meeseeks. He received that 9 vote. And man, feels good to see my home ward on the board, man. Love it. Denicio, you're crack, bro. Continue to do crack things, man. Looking forward to seeing you back next season.
Sure.
But that's going to lead us to that first place. And Imperium, I'm going to let you do the honors.
In first place, the players voted MVP of this season. It is one, the only, the most beautiful, the most epic, the most cracked player voted, Creed of Navi.
Creed from Navi! Just an absolute beast of a player. We're going to see some more from him, man. A well-deserved MVP award for him. I got to say, man, when I think about to this Navi roster last season, there's a few reasons why we overlooked them early on, right? You know, they were under the name Anarchy to begin with, and they had a lot of adversity to start the season. It was a bit of, a struggle to even get them to, perform in a best-of-3 format. They make a roster change, and who do they pick up? They pick up the Don himself and the man Creed. Yeah. And boy, has he been one of those prominent players for the longest time for this Navi roster. I absolutely love to see the man shine, and got to give him the props where it's due, man. You won the MVP of the season. Now, can you help your team win a best-of-7 against a Nova that you're down by 2-1 now? As we're getting geared up, we see the players joining back in the lobby. Absolutely a hell of an award winner show there for all 3 players receiving those awards. What's up?
Do we have a wild Denominate in our VC? Denominate, do you have anything to say so far? Or, would you like to use your voice?
Yeah, we got a special GOAT appearance here. I think he's creeping, bro. Look at him. Hello?
He's creeping?
We want to hear that beautiful voice, Day.
Okay. He's not here. He's
shy.
A ghost in the wind, just lurking. Okay, he's being shy. Okay, we see how it is. Denominate. We see how it is. But look, credit to all the players and all the teams that were nominated and voted upon in the Mobile Mayhem fall split season. But we still got a grand final to continue right now. Verdict, everybody at home, if you have just joined us, it is currently 2-1 in the best-of-7 series to Nova.
It is indeed, as we're going to pick the action right back up with a Hackney Yard Search and Destroy. If you missed it, so far so good for each teams. The Summit went in Nova's favor. The Takeoff went in favor of for Navi. Standoff domination on a holy comeback. Go to the guys over Nova. Now it's time for Navi to strike and make things even. This is going to be their opportunity. Hackney Yard Search and Destroy. We've already seen it played out once in the third place matchup, right? Are we expecting it to be similar here based off of the Takeoff Search and Destroy? Absolutely.
Yeah, fair, but I still think it's overall a completely different beast.
It is.
Both these teams will play this a little bit more respectively. So I am looking at this as being a much closer search and destroy. And it has to be Navi because I want to see it like 2-2 in the series. I kind of want to see this go to a game 7. So to see Navi win this and bring it to kind of 2-2 in the series would of course be spicy.
It will be spicy indeed. We're going to see if Navi can collect themselves. They're going to be on the defense to begin with, so they're not going to have that second half to look forward to in order to turn things around because they're going to have the pressure on them on the attack. And without further ado, game number 4. I couldn't even count there. I was like 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4 is after 3, so that makes sense. We're jumping straight into it. Congratulations to the award winners now. Who we're going to congratulate after the series. It's got to start here for Navi. And then on the backs of Nova, you got to find a way to make things interesting. I'm not saying that they're going to be pitted here, but it's going to be a tough one. Round one. Now we're seeing a little bit of a standstill for Nova.
It looked like they were trying to carve out a little bit of a B entry point, and that's kind of going to be the case at the hands of Karma. Toro does come in to get a bit of a kill as well, so 2 players for Navi taking out right off the bat in the early part of this round 1. They still have 3 players up. Viri gonna find the pick onto Neil. That's a very important pick. Shutting down one of the snipers for Nova. It's a healthy, at least it's a little bit of a healthy return.
Not gonna have a 5-man push. I was expecting everyone just to go balls to the walls at that A site, and you know, for Nova, it doesn't look like they're giving too much away without being, you know, dull. They're being creative in the push. They are gonna make the last second entry, and that's gonna be Don there to contest. Don's gonna get the hell out of dodge. Absolutely, gotta play your life in this scenario. You drop, give the man advantage over to Nova. They're gonna absolutely abuse you. Now we're gonna see the retake come through. The bomb's gonna go down. 3v3 style.
Nice by Creed. Nice by Creed.
Oh.
However, right now he's just on his own. He picked up 1 kill with the R9. Like I said, great flank from Creed. Unfortunately, he goes down, as does Don Lai. Vire's left on his own in a 1v2.
It is. This is a tough one. I was looking at Saturn's because he's going to play that swing roll. You know, if he goes down, it's okay because you got 1 left. He is going to utilize the movement there. Viri is put on ice. And that's going to be a 1-0 lead on the backs of a late push to that A side. The 3v3 pan down for Nova. Got to think, if Creed won that 1v2 inside of the P1 area and it takes down Turu, that would have been a different game, right?
True. Yeah, but that's why he said, like, honestly, these rounds are going to be much closer. And look at Nova. They're going for an initial B-bomb side push, right? This is what I absolutely love about these teams and how aware they are and how understandable they are of having to be flexible and pulling out different plays. You saw the players from Navi initially go for that kind of A-side defense with 2 or 3 players, and they got a little bit exposed because of Nova's push towards the B side.
Yep, now we're going to see the 4v4 play come through. Bomb is going to be at a halt. Viri going to pick up a massive kill. Finds Saturn's for his second. Don absolutely violating, takes down Truru. Neil and Yaya are going to be left. Neil is going to be in the backside of this green building, and Yaya is going to be in a bit of a pinch here. It's going to have multiples taking shots. Don going to be able to secure the deal. Neil in a 1v3 finds 1. Massive shots. Sniper in hand as well as the AS Val. Absolutely cracked. Is going to clear off this green side of the building, but still 2 players left lurking. That's Creed, who's still on A. I'm not 100% sure why the call-out should have been affected, but maybe it's for, you know, the long game as we see the rotations over from Neil. He doesn't want anything to do with that B side. Doubles back down. Tries to clear sight, and now he's got Creed right here lurking. Oh, Creed.
Beautiful. Oh. Beautiful. No, that was really good play from Creed. They knew exactly what Neil was going to do. So when you have 1 each covering the bomb site, and it's not like Creed was in an exposed position. He was in a perfect position with that shotgun. Spot on.
Spot on indeed. They tie things up here. Nova looking to make a breach here on this A site, looking for a few picks first. Miney actually going to be able to find his first frag as he takes down Neil. Massive kills there. We saw the devastation that Neil can cause from the Search and Destroy earlier. Fighting him early is massive, but 1-for-1 trade. Saturn's is 1. Is able to recover. Yaya in a bit of a pinch here, but is able to find 1 himself to even things out. 2 for 2. Don, oh my god, does a great job of playing his life here. Saturn's going to reposition, and the 3v3 is on. The bomb's in the hands of Saturn, who's looking to make the breach. He could definitely be a game changer if he finds Don out in the open here.
Miney, you are somewhat massively exposed.
Oh,
going to get taken out by Saturns. I did say that was the case, and now they make the push in. A little bit of a defense. Fury goes down. Don Light can do nothing about it. Nova push in. They take their second round.
Well orchestrated push for that A site. You lose 1 player off the rip. It doesn't mean anything. The 4v5 was real, and Nova able to execute perfectly. Mighty was out in the open there. He should have probably been on the top side of the banister right here, the second story, not necessarily on this little container site, but you know, you live and you learn. This time Nova able to capitalize on it, punishing Yaya with the thumper. I'm gonna find a thumper kill one of these days on cam, and I promise you guys you're gonna enjoy it.
Toro with the bomb in his hand. playing it through, waiting it out. They do have that body advantage. However, Creed is going to even things out. Saturn picks up a double kill. This is absolutely beautiful for Navi. Okay, Miney can do something with this, but unfortunately goes down, and Vire is left to his own devices in a 1v3.
Bomb's going to go down. That's pretty much going to solidify it. Vire has to be on point with the shots. He's got 2 on board, the Z-Lot in hand. If he had a secondary, I'd be a little bit more hopeful for him in this situation, but you can see the positioning from Nova. Got one all the way in the back of the tire shop. That's Karma. If you make the rotation on the front side, you're going to be absolutely destroyed. Viri is not going to peek his corner as he goes. He's walking the fence line, drops down, but is going to be sit rep. The push comes in. Viri up top, Turu down low, of course. The 2-for-1 push is going to pan out for Nova. They have a 3-1 lead. Looking to close things out here in the Search and Destroy. They're looking pretty good so far. 3-1. You know, the sides flip. Maybe a different story for Navi, but you know, you saw the attack strats on that takeoff map. Granted, this is a different one, but you know, you got to be very fearful for Navi here.
A little bit fearful. Like I said, in Navi we trust. Doesn't help them that they do have Donlai out. They've traded out with Yaya, so that's pretty healthy. Still Turo with the bomb in his hands. It's a good defense setup initially. However, Kike pushes in on his own and is going to get blown to smithereens. And it's one thing I think Navi have maybe done a little bit too wrong in these rounds. Is it looks like they've taken one too many 1v1s, and as much as it's not a bad thing, at the end of the day, it's a team game, and I think a team that can play better for those trades will fare off overall better. We'll have to wait and see if Navi can do something, as Creed is going to take a bit of damage, is going to get flashbang out of there, and it's just 2 left up.
It is 2 left up. You know, Nova's been doing a great job playing with numbers. And as a matter of fact, a lot of 1v something scenarios for the guys over at Navi to overcome. And Miney able to win that one on the island. That was Karma who gets taken down. That was a big trade, but is it going to have an overall impact on the round? I'm fearful. Again, you say in Navi we trust, but you got Miney and Viri who are looking to make the pinch through. Turu drops. Big plays for Miney. He's got the Type 25 to work with, as well as the M13, if I'm not mistaken. Neil, gonna be looking for the pick up top. He's gonna get caught on the barrels. The trade's not gonna come through, and that is gonna be an excellent execution from Neil. And Saturns, he picks up 2 and closes out the round. We're gonna be flipping sides. Navi, you gotta redeem yourself here. The defense was lackluster. Nova picked you apart. You're gonna let them continue to press on those wounds.
Now in comes to the push on towards the A side. Saturn's a little bit overextended on that one. It's going to get taken out. It's a strong defense and offense from both sides on towards the A bomb side. But like I said, Navi picking up the first kill now has that body advantage. Yeah.
Oh, Neil.
Pushing in. Neil's going to pick up the kill onto Miney. That's healthy indeed. 35 seconds left as that bomb is planted. That's the only thing that Navi so far have, to an extent, massively in their control of this one. And Viri is going to pick up Yaya.
Turu on the big flank here is going to be unexpected. Viri gets dropped on. That's 1. Karma and Turu need to collect it. They take 1 more. Oh, he finds a 3rd. Turu can't be stopped, but Creed does. Karma, however, comes back around, and that is going to be match points for Nova. Oh, my God. Turu able to pick up those 3 was absolutely phenomenal. Of course, Karma's going to find that last one. He was already weak. Wow. Navi.
Crack, man.
Just ridiculous. Turu is a demon, bro. I've seen him pop off in Search and Destroy more so recently than I have ever.
His positioning is on point so many times. So is Creed is going to at least trade it up against Saturns. That's a positive or a negative, so should I say, cancel that. Miney this time around does have the bomb. He's playing by the blue van, waiting for the time. He's going to plant that bomb. It's a little bit risky. Karma on the Creed. That's not good. It's not good for Navi. Say what you want. Plant the bomb. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't have the body advantage. Vira's left on his own.
Yeah, this is, you know, Worst case scenario, gone to even worse, and Turu able to close it out. Karma gonna go ahead and stick the defuse. It's a 3v1. Not much fear you can do there. The 6-1. Hell of a dominant performance there from Nova. They're gonna be up 3-1, and they only need one more game. Wow. That Hacky Yard was an eye-opener for Navi. If you can't find at least 2 more rounds in that game, there's no shot. Man, I'm speechless right now. Nova just absolutely dominated in that surge.
Zero adaption by going for a B plant. Zero awareness of planting that bomb without any real control. And just playing on your own too many times as the defensive side.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 components to them losing that game in a big way.
It was, but you gotta pinpoint there too. Like Nova in stage 5 don't have to heavily rely on their search and destroy game, so they have nothing to lose as far as it comes to strats. This is like a swing game for them, right? So they were able to be a little more creative on the pushes on the attacking side. So of course. Navi,
I don't think they were especially creative on the pushes.
No, I feel like they were. I feel like they can rely on their respawns just as like they have been able to rely on their respawn gameplays in this series so far, right? You look back on it, the sub hardpoint devastating. Navi just gets absolutely dominated. You look at the domination. Even when the game was in your hands, the beans get spilt and the triple cap comes through. It's an absolute unfortunate turn of events where Nova is able to make a unholy just a ridiculous comeback.
Yep.
And now you lose one of your better game modes, all because Nova's able to be a little more creative because, you know, they can rely on that respawn gameplay. They can rely on their gun skill.
Fair.
You know, it's tough for Navi, but Nova just literally right now just crushing Navi. And I got a fist clinch, but, you know, you made a claim earlier, and I hope we can stick by it. That's in Navi we trust. Can we trust them here on this hardpoint?
I think we can. What is it about Navi that they do best? When their back's against the wall, when they're behind, when they have nothing to lose and everything to gain, that's when we see the best Navi. That's when we see the best of this roster. So yes, I'm still going to say in Navi we trust in this next game. But I also have to recognize that Nova have realistically looked... They've pretty much looked unbeatable. They haven't really made a foot wrong. Yeah, okay, they lost to Search and Destroy, but it wasn't in the same way that Navi lost this Search and Destroy. So, you know, I do need to recognize that. And if... Like, Navi are going to, like, this is why, you know, outside of skill level, because we know that every single one of these players in both of these teams have incredible skill on their roster. But this is where the mentality comes into play, right? This is where Navi, like, really need to dig kind of stage 5 level deep.
Yeah.
To pull out a big performance, because this is what it's going to be like in stage 5 for both of these teams. Easy or hard, this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
And for Nova, they need to dig. They need to dig hard.
Yeah, Navi right now up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. You saw how well the Nova execution was in the Summit hardpoint. Granted, that's a much smaller map, more condensed. It's a little elongated, right? So it makes the spawns a bit difficult and a little more unpredictable. On this raid map, I am desperately looking for Navi to answer. I need to see control off the rip. If they don't get control off the rip, I need to see them at least have control over that P2, and their breaks are going to have to be on point. As a matter of fact, you can't sit back and be reactive as we saw them in that domination. They paid for it there. Yep. The comeback was real. Nova prevailed.
For sure.
That was your game to win. And I said that, you know, there's a reason why I said that domination was Navi's win, because look where we're at right now. We'd be tied up 2-2.
Yep.
Verdict writing scripts back here. Hey,
maybe
Hollywood, I need a contract on this one.
Oh, well, let's see if the script is going to get torn up, or let's see if it's going to get hung and framed up and put on a wall somewhere in the arse end of nowhere as we get into this next game, and it's going to be Navi, like I said, having to find something big. This P1 is a scrappy one, but Toru, Neil, and Yaya, they say to Navi, dig as hard as you want, dig as big as you want, but you're going to find absolutely nothing but dirt, worms, and destruction in against you.
Very opted to use the SVD is interesting. Yaya going to be finding him on the backside. Don doing a great job of controlling that ring site. Still, the laundry control is a factor here for Nova. As a matter of fact, they can send 1 or 2 in to make something shake here and absolutely own that P2 transition. All they do is they send 2, 3 in, 2 are up top, and this is going to be devastating for Anarchy. You see the transitions already coming through for Nova. They only have 1 on the point now. Saturn's going to try and double back, contemplates it, but the focus now is kitchen site. Who's cooking something up spicy? Donlai is. He finds 2. It is going to pull the thumper out for the protection of that backside push, but now the spawns are going to be flipped. Nova looking to strike from up front. Neil going to lead the pack, and this is a tough one. You need a big transition here if you're Navi.
Even your dog is hyped for this matchup. I can hear him barking in the background as this P2 starting off, and Nova once again having a little bit of a lead, a little bit of a control that they're able to play with some good movements coming out as Yaya pushes forward the thumper play, as Creed is at least going to help seal the deal and shut them down. Navi being picked apart 1 by 1, second by second. They're staying within Nova a little bit, but still a 20+ point deficit is hurting their ability to close that gap and get into the lead.
Yep, Don actually going to try and put his foot on the hill. I wouldn't have even contested it at that point. Does find 1, is able to collect a few points uncontested. 7 seconds. It says, what's up for stake? But you see what Donlai's presence is at this point. Creed on the backside spawn. He's spawning old. He's not spawning new. You got 4 men there to protect, but Creed going to have to make that long, devastating trek over. He's going to get caught out by Yaya. He wins those. Let's see where Yaya spawns at, because that's going to be vital. Oh, he spawns right there on the driveway, and P3 was looking pretty good. Oh, it's looking great now. Navi able to rack up some kills, and they've made this game interesting as they have the hold here on garage site, one of the harder flanks, or one of the harder points to break. Mighty does a great job of perimeter control there.
Yeah, but verdict. At the end of the day, though, just have to point this out. None, and I mean none, of the Navi players have positive KDs. They either have negative or zeros, right? It's absolutely nothing plus for the side of Navi overall. Finally, yeah, they still, okay, finally Donlai is going to have a positive, but is that too little too late? Yes, they have the lead, but I just have to point that out.
In Hardpoint alone, no, it's not going to be a factor. KD is going to be crucial to earning streaks and, able to ultimately win the game with those streaks that are utilized, but you got to have great map awareness. You got to have great situation awareness, and Nova have executed on that perfectly. So I guess, yeah, you might be right. The KD may be something that you should be considerate of, but they've done a great job of collecting themselves, and even with a negative KD, able to put the points on board to take the lead. Is that going to translate to this P4 transition to courtside? Possibly. I don't know. There's 2 players there to deal with. The operators are going to come out. They're not going to be, fruitful. Saturn's still on point. It's just absolutely abusing it, Cubby.
Lord, Karma! Oh, Karma, absolutely fantastic. He's going to come through. Oh, no way. No way. Is he going to look to pull it out? A Goliath is available for TK. Just to kind of point it out, the Goliath is available.
Interesting to see what he does with it, because we saw how Asylium fell straight on their face earlier. Granted, this isn't Asylium. This isn't Stamina. This is Nova and Navi. I'm thinking he's going to hold that for P1 reset, because it's coming down to the wire. This P5, you're not going to be able to utilize. As a matter of fact, you got to believe that the side of Nova have racked up score streaks. I'm going to take a look at it real quick. No, nothing. Okay, so maybe it could be viable.
Saturn has the operator.
Yeah, but that death machine is not going to be as much of a factor as, you've got a death machine in the Goliath.
That's true. 187 though. It's one thing we need to recognize, that it is and it has been a consistent lead for the Navi boys over the last a couple of minutes, over the last couple of hard points. Of course, 30 seconds on this P5 left up. Is Nova coming back into the mix? They've positioned themselves very well on this hard point.
Yeah, notice that Neo used that Predator missile. That's going to be huge coming into this P1 reset, as we see about 20 seconds left on P5. That courtyard was an absolute bloodbath, and Nova are going to be able to claim the lead that they had early on the backs of a good transition. TK is going to be able to use that Goliath now. He's going to make a long trek through the driveway, but notice, Neo had a Predator missile earlier. Nobody else has streaks for Nova. Oh, no, Turu, where did you come from? He's got a cluster strike in hand. Oh, boys.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save it for a rainy day, because it's coming.
Miney and Kike pick up a double kill. Uh-oh, be careful, Kike. To overstep your mark. P1 is going to be that scrappy one. Not really going to be looking for a majority of points, but is going to be Viri with the Goliath on P1. That's ballsy. It's bold, but it is going to work in their favor. It's going to help Navi take the lead as the cluster strike is laid out. That's going to be laid down on this P1. Is it a good time to use a verdict? I don't know. I would argue no.
Notice that Saturn's has got a Tempest. He just used it to try and take out the Goliath. It's about half health. It's a little less, actually. It's about 20%. And now we're going to see this thing come through, and the contest is going to be for Nova. The Goliath served its purpose, but Kike, does he have another one? No, he doesn't. It's just glitched. I'm looking at the screen. It shows the Goliath up top, but man, this is getting very tough. Navi able to utilize that Goliath well in the P1 reset. It served its purpose. The cluster strike wasn't a factor. As a matter of fact, it was placed a little too far north. And Navi racking up the kill feed. Able to clear off New. It opens up. They only need 10 points. Are we going to go to a game 5?
Hell
6.
Yeah, we're going to a game. Next game, we're going on in this
No!
series, okay? 47 seconds. Nova have control of this hard point, but they need a gigantic
Kike.
level of control. They need every single second of it, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. It's going to go
That's
back
game!
over to the hands of Navi.
Oh!
Not the Svinceri. Take the game. They put them back into the mix, and we are going to a game 6.
Lost count of numbers there, guys. I'm sorry, but hey, in Navi we trust, right? That's my default statement now. It's that one and stay devious. Day, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Did they show up? Did they play their streaks well? Yes. Kike, you're a demon, my guy. All I can see him right now is doing that face. You know, that mood, the one from stage 4 where he's got his hands up.
Yep.
And obviously you're not in a 3-0 scenario because you've got a deficit to overcome. It started there, and you popped off when you needed to. 29 kills for Kike. Viri getting into the Goliath. Absolutely a crucial call. Do not give that thing to Kike because there's no purpose for him to be there.
But also, like, that was ballsy in my eyes, but maybe because it was unorthodox, it worked out. But I thought that was ballsy to pull out the Goliath on that P1. Because to me, when you got that open hard point, it can make that Goliath just be exposed to multiple angles, right? So that's why I thought it was a little bit of a wrong time. But because it was unorthodox, I kind of think it worked, right? Whereas the cluster strike from Nova on that P1 was just really not the move in my eyes. Maybe,
No. That was perfect. It was dicey, but it was necessary. Why? Because Nova, if Navi didn't have that Goliath on that P1, there's no way they maintained the majority of that point and set themselves up for a perfect P2. They played the long game, right? You were thinking maybe use it on that P5? Wrong. That thing would have been taken out so quick. Ridiculous. The angles that you have to cover on that P1 on ringside, you have a little bit of back. If you have that backside control of ring, it was absolutely viable.
Okay.
The cluster strike from Turu was absolutely on point. He put it in the spot that he felt was absolute, crucial to where it needed to be. It was just unlucky that it happened. Where Viri was able to utilize the backside. Yeah. You know what? It could have. It was a 50-50 shot right there, but you don't use the Goliath there. You don't have an opportunity to use it at all. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love that, man. I absolutely love that. Like, different perspectives. In verdict, I'm going to trust on that one, absolutely. So fair play to Nova. They didn't pull it out where they had to and where they felt it was going to be worthwhile. It just didn't prove to be effective in the right way. But Navi, let's be fair. They were controlling that game for a much longer period of time than we thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good start for Nova, but Navi very quickly found their way in the lead. I think it was after P3.
Yeah.
Right after P3, that's when they got the lead and they kind of held on to that lead for the whole game from that point onward. So credit to Navi. It wasn't like the most flashiest of wins, but it doesn't have to be because it's an objective based game. You just got to get the points on the board. I highlighted the risk of having a negative KD in the first 3 hard points, but to them it didn't matter. They did what they needed to do. They took the game.
Yeah, they handled business as they needed to, and you got to be a huge fan of Kike after that performance.
Yep.
Just damn right ridiculous. He gets the Goliath, he gets the Predator missile. Everything was just absolutely on point. If he didn't get that Predator missile before those 2 Nova players made their way on the point,
yeah,
it could have been a 50-50 draw there. But greatly timed operators, greatly timed score streaks, greatly timed objective time. Just a ridiculous performance from Navi, and it started in that P3, and they were able to prevail. And guys, we're fortunate enough to see a game 6. You hear my dogs? They're back there. They're excited. I'm excited. I don't even know what we're looking at. Another domination standoff?
We're looking at another domination standoff. Is this going to be a repeat? Is it going to be same old, same old? Just to remind you, this series is 3 games in the favor of Nova to 2 games in the favor of Navi. It is a best of 7. Say what you want about Nova losing that last game, but they are still on match point.
Yeah, they close it out here early. Nova going to have the advantage with the trades coming into their favor, but now we're starting to see a little bit of traction here. Miney, or not Miney, but Karma looking for the B cap as well. 3 other players are there. The calls are going to come out. The B cap is going to be secured. And a little bit of early dominance here for the guys over at Nova. Have no fear, though. Navi are now back in the driver's seat. The push comes through. Miney and one other looking to get the cap. They're going to be halted. That's tough. 75% cap, though.
Close but no cigar. 75 isn't 100%, man. 75 is still a double cap in the favor of Nova. Now, at this point, it was an early lead on the hands of Navi, so it could be the other way around, where it's a bit of an early lead for Nova, and the Navi come in towards the bitter end and steal it away from the Nova boys to bring us to a game 7. These are 2 giants, and both these teams should be massively respected. You always got to realize that this is the best of the best, so any mistake that's made isn't really as much of a mistake as you think. It's just hard to get everything absolutely right all the time when you're going up against such strong teams.
Kills are going to come in favor. Nova looking to reclaim their spot there on that B side. Viri doing some traffic control, finds one. Viri going to be taken down, though, so nobody on B side to cover. Kike on the flank is going to wrap through. Going to find one. Some great teamwork, some great team shot. Yaya, no dice. Cannot trespass on this property. This push towards the A side's going to come through. Kike finds 2, but is taken down. The Predator missiles are going to come raining in. Creed able to utilize that, but look who, look, Turu playing some demon time plays there in mid.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200, though. It's going to be shut down by the Navi boys. Don Nye, he does get taken out, but at the end of the day, it is job done. One thing I gotta say about Navi in this game is that they are playing very much like a team. They are playing a lot more fluid. They're playing a lot more together, and they're putting themselves into the positions where they're able to, for the most part, support each other. However, Nova have been able to capture that B cap. It's still a little bit of lead onto Nova, but we might see this first half end very, very closely.
It is, but you know, based off of the last domination game we saw, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and Nova just have a damn well right to know how to finish themselves. That they took the holy comeback of all comebacks. The triple cap prevailed, but right now they're looking pretty decent here in this first half performance as well. So You know, you combine that with their clutch ability in the second half. Could be a, RIP moment here for Navi. They got to find a way to even things out. They're not going to be able to...
In my opinion, Navi should be going for an A cap.
Oh,
Switch around
facts.
to side, send 3 to 4 players, and go for an A cap, because you're towards the end of the first half. You technically have nothing to lose, but it would be a little bit of a message to the side of Nova. However, they're just about capturing the B cap, not close enough.
No, it's not. That's going to be the first half. 1 point advantage going into...
Wow.
Oh, so Navi had the advantage. Okay. 75-74. A much closer second time around. Second half could be a domination opportunity for Nova to close this game or for to close this series out. Imperial.
This is 75-74.
Bro.
Could this be any fucking closer?
No, it couldn't. In Navi we trust. Can we stick by that?
We'll have to wait and see. I still believe that in Navi we trust can come on through, and don't lie, we can goddamn trust along with Vire picking up a triple kill, playing for a little bit of an early control underneath the granny flat is quite viable indeed. He picks up another. His Miney is gonna help gain control, but he's gonna be taken out. Still yet to see a B cap from the side of Navi.
Don gonna pull out his War Machine here. Looks to close out the push from the B site. Is gonna find one, but Saturn's gonna come through and ultimately own some map control. Look at the map spawns. This is
Toru. Woo! Let's go, Nova. That's the thing. The difference between these two teams right now is that the second Nova get a chance to steal a cap, to get a cap, they'll do it. Navi, it's like, okay, we'll go for a little bit of control, but we'll do nothing with it. Right now, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, they get caught with their hands in the cookie jar there as they try to go for the A side push. But too many players on point. 2 are on. Don was the last hope. B is going to be halted. Kike looking for some map control there. Saturn's just too OP. The double cap about halfway through is going to be re-pushed. And as you said, 75 is not 100. A lot is not 100. But now, the dominance from Nova just prevailing too well. They've got great map control. I'm fearful. Viri is the last hope for this B-side push.
Beautiful position. He switches over to his operator. Stat picks up a double kill. Might be even looking for the A cap, but he doesn't right. He's cleverer than that. He realizes that the spawns are coming through. And all he's doing is just slowing down the Navi players. Yeah, he's like the puppet master, and he's just controlling the puppets from the top of the sky.
This lead's starting to get a little out of hand. Navi need to find a way to get this B cap. Oh, they're going to be shut down again, Miney.
Are we a territory where they need a triple cap?
No, not yet. They need to get a B cap here quickly, though, and it's not going to happen. Nova prevailing. Way too much map control here. They're winning the necessary gunfights. As a matter of fact, Karma doing a great job of holding them off on the spawn site. This might be triple cap territory now. It is 100% now triple cap territory. You see Nova recognize that, too.
This is so close, Miney. Trying to go for it, but they haven't found it. Nova have just been able to keep them at bay. It's been an incredible performance for Nova. 139 to 114 to 141. This is triple cap territory. Verdict, they need all 3 in the palm of their hands. There's really not much they can do. Just go for broke. Nothing to lose. Everything to play for. Their backs are against the wall. They're looking to steal the B. Are they going to be able to get it? Yes, they do get it. But they need the third. 149. It's not going to be enough. It's going to see Nova take the win. They're going to get the final game. They are going to be crowned your Mobile Mayhem Fall 2021 champions.
Wow. Nova taking the bag there. 4-2 in the series. You got to look back at that domination the first time around. That triple cap comes through for Nova. They clutched that game up, and I said, hey, that's the game that Navi needs to win. Saw how Nova stepped up here the second time around. They didn't even give any hope for the guys over at Navi. Wow, what a series, though. 6 games in. Nova able to clutch it up. They don't want to see that Game 7. I am not mad at that.
Yep. No, not at all. Like, you can clearly see that Nova learned from the initial mistakes of the first domination and standoff, right?
Yeah.
They played a lot more cohesively. Navi, they weren't playing badly. They really weren't. But we did then start to see, as you got through the game, Nova were taking advantage of the smaller opportunities bigger than Navi were, right? Navi were happy to try and play for an element of map control, which isn't a bad thing, but they weren't really taking for game control, whereas Nova were going, okay, well, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to use this to our advantage, and we started seeing just a little bit more of a heavy game control by Nova in the end. Good push from Navi in the end, but Nova, yeah, they just overall played better. They deserved that win. They played it, they got it, they went for it, they won it.
That is right, guys. If you're just now joining in, you're a little too late, but hey, 4-2 win for Nova. Just absolutely on point, bro. I'm still sitting here like trying to break it down and analyze it. You know, you put it way, you put it in perspective. Nova coming into that second performance on this domination standoff map, and obviously they had everything right. They held a majority of that B cap on the second half, and you know all they had to do was hold the C site, and they did all they could. They prevailed. They take the championship. Man, this was a hell of a season, bro. I'm still trying to process everything. Like, I still have that in Navi we trust mentality, but man, Nova just looks so damn good.
Nova are overall built different as a roster, as a team, right? Yaya was big time imperative to their team winning the whole series and winning this, and that's why, to an extent similar to Stamina, Nova are a team that you just know are going to perform at an extremely high level. One of Navi's weaknesses is that their performances are quite volatile, right?
Yeah.
So when they perform really well, they perform freaking amazing. But at times you don't know what kind of Navi you're going to get, and that, I think, is hurting them a little bit more across the spectrum, and it could hurt them in stage 5. Whereas for Nova, yeah, okay, they will hit their peaks, but even their non-peaks are still incredibly high, right? They're still incredibly viable. So, man, this Nova team coming into stage 5,
they're dynamite,
force
bro.
to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and let me remind you, these guys just got their Sony Xperia phones, and you see how well they already adapted. It's just ridiculous. Some people got it, some people don't. These guys get it, and they get it so quickly. It's just ridiculous how they were able to take control in that series. They started off with that comeback in the first time we saw the domination on standoff. Second time, just even better. Didn't even need that holy comeback to make it, happen. And obviously, Navi falling shy. Give a huge shout out to them, though.
For sure.
They played so well in the back end, but Nova, huge shout out. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the results from the day if you're just now joining us. Stamina 3-0 Asylium, just ridiculous. They find that third place spot, and we saw the grand finale there. Nova Esports closed it out in 6, 4-2 win. Huge games. Just an absolute phenomenal way to end the season. And we're going to give the crown over to Nova, their rightful heirs to the throne. They were when I came into this scene, they were like back-to-back, Mobile Mayhem champions. They hiccuped last season, and Anarchy made them pay the price. 4-3 win for them for Navi last season, but this season now is the shoe on the other foot, man. Nova looking too damn stout. And Imperium, we've crowned our champions now. Got that page pulled up. It doesn't look odd either. I like it. I'm looking at the page, and it actually looks beautiful. Nova up top. They reclaimed the throne. They're the champions. They got a hell of a stage 5 ahead of them. Navi as well, man. I'm looking at those brackets. They're looking pretty spicy.
They are, man. It's like I said, look, it's going to be good. We can all be extremely proud of these European teams. Simple as that, right? Like I said, it was always going to be difficult coming into this, and it's not like these teams played like massively badly when they lost the game. It was just who was able to lose less games to an extent. But at the end of the day, stage 5 is upon us. this is only going to get tougher for all 4 of these teams representing Europe. And I can hand on heart say I will be supporting them every second along with the rest of the European COD Mobile community, because I know,
Yes.
everybody knows that the European competitive COD
hands
Mobile
down,
scene
bro.
is one of the strongest in the world, and I've absolutely no doubt that it will be proven in the COD Mobile Stage 5 champs.
You know what, bro? I don't even think I have to say anything after that. It was just well articulated, well said. EU on top, absolutely. They've got a huge shot at the throne in that Stage 5 scene that we'll see not what, 2 weeks from now? That it's right around the corner. These guys getting some good practice here in Mobile Mayhem. Obviously, we want to see those teams thrive, and we've got 4 in the mix. They're going to have an opportunity to take a large chunk of cash in that Stage 5 turn.
Sure.
But, you know, that brings, you know, I made a claim last season that it was the best season to date. I made a claim earlier this season that this season was the best season to date. I stand by both of those claims. Why? Because they have gotten better and better and better and better.
Yep.
Looking forward to the future. In Imperium, bro, you're such a delight to work with, my guy. You're on point. You carry. I don't get to see your face as regular as often. When push comes to shove, man, you were right there on point today, and I absolutely love you, my guy.
Genuinely, like, I'm sad I wasn't able to commentate as many broadcast days as I could last season. I wasn't here to work with you and as many of the weeks as I would like to. But for the days that I was here, I was genuinely constantly impressed with the teams and with the plays. And yeah, thank you so much to everybody in the community for being there and tuning into the days and watching the games and supporting the teams, because at the end of the day, if it isn't for the community, there wouldn't be the likes of Mobile Mayhem. And for the players and for the teams, keep on doing your best. Keep on representing how you can. Keep on putting a foot in the right direction every single time, and just play with passion as much as you can. Play with passion. And hopefully you all find success. So thank you so much for an amazing season. And yourself, Verdict, you're a fucking legend, man.
You're the legend. Heartfelt statement there from Imperium. You heard it. You got a job to do, EU. Make us proud. Got to give a shout out to Day and Denominate and Gil, who came through and the fill in too. Those guys were so clutch in the, in the times that we were needing a second caster. You guys wouldn't be able to, do the regular season without you. It's been a struggle, but that's going to conclude us for another Mobile Mayhem Fall EU 2021 season. We crowned the champions. Nova took the bag. Navi a close second. We're going to get geared up for a raid. Guys, join us Tuesday. We'll have All-Stars. I don't know if Imperium's schedule will allow him to join us.
I
But
won't be.
That's quite all right. You'll be here in spirit, my guy. The man from Georgia himself. An absolute legend. Celebrity, some say. Brown Eye. All right, guys. We're gonna
Also, we have NA later on. The NA Mobile Mayhem.
I don't think I'll be casting that, but denominating Bobby, if I'm not mistaken. I got the word that I don't think I will be, but make sure you follow that. For the first time, I don't think Bobby knows who's going to win it. It's come down to Zygnus and Tribe, if I'm not mistaken. So, wow. Those two names just hold a lot of weight to them. Definitely check it out. I'm sure it's either going to be on Bobby or Denominate's channel, so we're going to get geared up for that raid. Denominate says, I'm a bot. Stop giving me credit, ho. It was Gil and Imperium. Day, you came in on some days, though. You lurked in VC like you did today, too. So we're going to stop babbling now. We're going to go ahead and get
anyway, yeah.
Much love, guys. We'll see you next time.